he's the last to know about anything because even we see Kid being like, the one with the scar on his face, which I assume is Sabo.
My God, that's okay.
Okay, yeah. Let's talk about that.
I mean, we could hold off on that. That's a long,
No, I want it now.
I open up the can of worms.
No,
I'm just kidding. No, I want it.
Welcome back to another episode of Volume 1, the anime and manga podcast where we highlight and discuss new series each week. But today, we are back again with possibly the final done piece.
For a while. That was very dramatic.
I know, because we're going to be weekly readers after this, dude. Yeah. So it's going to be different. We're going to be doing chapter reviews as opposed to arc reviews, but we still might go back and do some arc reviews.
Oh, yeah, and like 2 years.
Well, I mean, I don't know, but you're being a little dramatic about it, but okay. But today, my name is Josh Joyboy Michaels, and I am joined by
Mehgan, Yamato, Fareed. Ooh.
Get it.
Let's go.
But Mehgan, today,
what
a weird sound. Today, it's not just me and you, is it?
No, it's not.
We are joined by a very, very, very special guest. The most special guest?
I wouldn't even argue that that's true. That's a fact.
I wouldn't argue it for a second.
All printer, no facts. All facts, no printer. Yes.
Everybody, make some noise for the one, the only Teching 101!
How you doing? I don't have a cosplay, but I have a jacket. That's the best I have right now.
And he looks freaking good, okay?
Oh, my God. Thanks for having me back on, and welcome to the part of your life where you're part of the caught up One Piece gang. There you go.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, we were talking about it before we started recording.
There's two halves of your life that you'll remember up until now. It's every moment of your life up until now, and now that you're caught up with One Piece, completely different. Yeah.
We were saying that we're still dodging spoilers as if we're not caught up.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird feeling. It's going to take a while for that to sit in, for it to soak in, I guess.
Yeah.
But thank you, Teching. Thank you for being here.
Anytime. Yeah.
Thank you for coming back. And like I said, I think I said it in the last episode, we're holding you to that. You say anytime, we hold you to it.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. Anytime. You call me at 3:00 in the morning, like, Techie, we really need you to come on this podcast. I'm like, I'm on it.
Say that.
Yeah.
Don't say
Josh
that.
just might call you at 3 a.m., not on a video. He just might rig you up.
Right. But dude, there's honestly no one else I'd rather be talking about this portion, the end of Wano with. Today we're going to be talking about, for everybody watching at home, we are going to be talking about chapters 1044 through 1057. Basically, where we left off was when Zunisha said, Joy Boy has returned.
Joy Boy has risen.
And it's crazy that Oda never followed up on that. The next 15 chapters are just Kaido winning. It's so weird.
Yeah. Kaido won at the end.
Kaido won.
Kaido
won. He killed all the Straw Hats, and now he's just the Lord of Onigashima.
Yeah. A weweird direction to go, but I respect it. I respect the man.
I think there were some theories out there too that said, they're gonna fail.
Right.
Oh yeah, that was a long time. There was a theory that was out there. Morge, I believe, started that. Like the raid's going to end because it's like just following a different path than all the other arcs of One Piece. But I always felt like this was going to be the hardest fought battle ever, and it was. They had to go through a lot of stages to bring Kaido down. That fight with Kaido took like 50 chapters when you add it all together.
Yeah, as a weekly reader, how did that feel? How did Wano feel on a week-to-week basis?
It ended last week and I'm still reeling from it. You know what I mean? Like I need to make a video just covering everything, but it's going to take forever. But like, it's so like you guys had the privilege of reading it back to back. Those chapters when Luffy goes and we're going to cover it today, Gear 5th and all that stuff. Yeah. They were a wild ride. I mean, it was insane. And then we got the month break, which I believe you also got to skip over. So you got the lucky end of this because that was a lot.
We did. But because I see a lot of things online, and by the way, when that happened in the manga, it was so hard to dodge. It was everywhere. Spoilers were everywhere. And for the most part, like we did I think a pretty good job at not getting it ruined for us. I mean, obviously we saw images, but without any context.
Yeah.
And there have been some thoughts. Some people have some opinions on how it ended. And since we're talking about the ending, for the most part in this video, I just wanted to know your thoughts on the ending. I think people were, specifically from what we've seen, a little upset about where Yamato ended up by not being with the Straw Hats, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
But that
ending. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty upset about that. I really wish Yamato would have joined. I mean, I was with Carrot joining for a while, and then throughout Wano, it was like, okay, Oda's not focusing on Carrot that much. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I guess we're just going to get Yamato. And I guess the biggest contrast was between 1056 and 57, where at the end of 1056, we have Yamato like, I'm going to go meet Luffy, and then I'm going to live how Odin did. And everybody in the world thought like, okay, this is going to be it. And then in the very next chapter, Yamato's like, okay, I guess I'll just stay in Wano now and travel around. And, okay, that is what Odin did, but like that, it just seems to like make a hard right turn out of nowhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he really
if we're getting technical about it,
really,
he did do that. But yeah, I think a lot of people were frustrated by that. The only thing that I've heard, and we're still fresh. We're still fresh into
from
being
last
caught
week.
up. Yeah. But one of the things I heard that I kind of agree with, though, is that after it took Jinbei so long to officially join, now it's going to be nice to see his dynamic with the Straw Hats now that he's actually on the ship.
And now that they're not like literally like fighting for their lives.
Right.
Yeah, that was a major positive I had out of the whole Yamato situation, where I'm like, okay, if Yamato joined, then we're going to have to like Jinbei. Like, yeah, we'll have a party for Jinbei and Yamato. And it's like, okay, but Jinbei, I mean, it's been 10 years. We have to focus on him joining. Idea, I had an idea, and this is like far flung in the future, but I was thinking, because Luffy did say, Yamato, Momonosuke, Kinemon, if you ever want to be pirates, let me know, and I will come back and pick you up. I'm thinking of the long game here with what after One Piece is over, and we have like a sequel manga or a sequel series.
Yeah.
And then at that point, Yamato is one of the Straw Hats. Like that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But that's maybe, because the series is ending soon. We're in the final saga. So it's,
Yeah, that's crazy. It's so crazy to even
anything
think about
can
that.
happen.
Mm-hmm. Anything can happen. And I wanted to talk to you about that. And, obviously, of course, Gear 5. What the heck, dude? It's so absolutely incredibly insane and ridiculous. In the Viz translation, they even say the most ridiculous power. And it's just such a cool thing that I think makes so much sense. I feel like all the seeds were planted. This is kind of always what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And again, we try to stay away from as much as we can negativity online, but you have people saying that it feels like a retcon.
Well, out of any new transformation you're going to get, you're going to have people like, I remember even during the time skip when Frankie reappeared with his new form, everyone was upset over that. Kind of, it was just like, it was so different from everything. I think maybe a lot of people were expecting Luffy to go into Gear 5th and it was going to be like Super Saiyan 3 or something. He has like a badass form. He's like all muscles and hockey, and he has like this serious expression like, you're dying now, Kaido. But it's like, this fits Luffy's personality to a T. Yep. This is it. It's bringing back like rubber hose animation from like the old like Mickey Mouse cartoons or whatever. Like, it works for him.
Yeah, he straight up looked like a Hanna-Barbera cartoon, dude.
Yeah. I mean, he's literally Jim Carrey the Mask.
Yeah, he was the Mask, dude.
He's like,
Luffy? Because I gotta. Dude, he looked like the Mask, man. He was the way he was like pulling his shorts up, and like he was rotating or using like lightning and spinning around the light. I mean, the limits of this power are his imagination.
And it's just so fun. It fits Luffy so well. I mean, he wouldn't, exactly like Techie said, he wouldn't be this super badass buff, like, I'm gonna kill. Like, it's just not his style. So this was just so fun to see. And, he's having fun. Like, that's the main thing. Like, he's fighting for his life, sure. But him and Kaido are like, this is cool. I like fighting.
And the greatest part about it is, like, there's so much more Oda can do with this. This is not even the limit. Like, Luffy could change his shape now. Like, we saw him turning into a giant. I had an idea, like, if Luffy wanted to, he could basically turn into a giant dragon himself. He probably could. There's no limits here. You know what I mean?
Right?
Yeah.
Theoretically, he absolutely could. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to you because you also, on our Impel Down episode, you were talking about sort of Oda's inspiration for doing the levels of hell, Dante's Inferno, right? And throughout everything, even in Fishman Island, every arc is obviously the location and setting are pulled from actual places, but the events and the people too are references to historical events as well and historical figures as well. The inspiration for Nika, the sun god.
Yes.
So I'm sure you're well aware, but from what I've found seem to just be mostly theoretical things online that are calling it a nod to the Brazilian sun god Mary.
So there are so many, as you would imagine, and I love history and mythology, so I'll try not to go on a tangent for 5 hours.
Please go.
But okay, obviously sun deities, they're all over the place, right? Like even Egypt alone had like more than Ra. Like there were dozens of different aspects of the sun and everything like that. So I think Oda is taking honestly a conglomeration of a bunch of different sun deities and kind of mishmashing it together to make the sun god Nika, you know? And it's like, because obviously this is something that's been so important, but I've heard that references to Mary, and then also there's an African like tribal deity, I think just referred to as Joy Boy as well, that like bangs a drum, and so there's inspiration there. And then just like, you know, and then obviously taking the cartoon aesthetic just from like 1920s animation, that's Oda himself doing that.
Yes.
But then we have the Lunarians, which, you know, are the moon. So moon and sun, very relevant in the One Piece world, and Oda's never really gone into like the back lore when it came to like religion and like what is the main religion in the One Piece world. It's never been really referenced. Now we're sort of talking about sun gods and moon gods and stuff, and so I'm really excited where we're gonna go from here.
Dude, I'm so
I mean,
so
there's so many theories like Luffy's going to the moon next.
I would love for them to go to the moon. I've wanted them to go to the moon for years.
Yeah, same.
I mean, Oda, like, I mean, maybe it was just a fun thing, like a nail on the moon. What is that? Wild? But I mean, everything that's kind of ramping up. I mean, it wouldn't be that. It wouldn't be that crazy because anything's possible in One Piece, obviously.
If the series ends with the Straw Hats sailing off into the skies and they become space pirates, I'm going to be fine with that. You know,
that's perfect. That's perfect. There was that, and the reason I think I like the Mary comparison is obviously because of the Going Merry, right?
Merry,
even though it's spelled differently, and then of course the Thousand Sunny reference to the sun, all these things which we had started to notice reading it through. I mean, even the sun flowers on his shirt and dress rose. So many the sun pirates. I mean, it just goes. The list literally goes on and on.
The dance at the fire at Skypiea, that's a big one where he's in silhouette, and you see that's the exact same outline as that with Nika. You know, there's so many references all throughout. It's insane.
So I just can't. You know, of course, fan expectation is what we talk a lot about when we talk about people's like dislike of Wano if they do. But it's just been here. It's been here the whole time.
Now, the only thing I was worried about when we first got the sun god form from Luffy, Gear 5th, is like, okay, is this a thing where it's Luffy's personality, or is this a thing where he's like being possessed by the ghost of Joy Boy or something? And I'm glad Oda did not go that direction with it, because first off, I've seen that in Bleach it happens, you know, with Ichigo's Inner Hollow. Naruto has Kurama, Asta has the devil, and it's like, okay, we get it, you have the other form of you inside of you. Luffy is still Luffy. He does not have like Joy Boy talking to him or something. It's his devil fruit, but beyond that, Luffy's still Luffy. Yeah.
And that's what, you know, we were kind of piecing together ourselves because it's very explicit. Kaido asks him who he is, and he says, "I am Monkey D. Luffy, King of the Pirates, future King of the Pirates." Yeah. We were talking about it too, and it just seems clear that it might even be that Joy Boy, right, Nika, and Luffy are obviously three separate people. And
is that safe to say?
Does that seem...
I would definitely say that is three separate people. Now, the legend of the sun god is a little weird because we don't know a lot about it yet. I originally assumed that Joy Boy lived, you know, during the Void Century, of course, we know this, and then he freed the slaves, and then over the centuries, the slaves sort of like kind of adapted Joy Boy into Nika, like called him like, okay, this is our savior. So that doesn't seem to be the case. It does seem that like Nika existed as a deity long before Joy Boy's time, like thousands and thousands of years ago.
Right.
And probably was an actual deity, like might be just a straight up god that exists. Because
because the civilization was so primitive.
Yeah.
They were so primitive. Maybe they just looked at him like a god, similar to how they looked at the Lunarians and called them gods.
Yeah.
You know?
And also, I mean, the fact that the human fruit sun god exists, it's like now this gets into question, like, is it the power of like a god? Like, did Nika turn into the fruit? Does he have something to do with how devil fruits were created? There's just so many questions.
Oh.
Yeah. Because I also think that it might be the case because the government was trying to keep this fruit under wraps for so long that it could even be that Nika, Luffy, and Joy Boy were the only three people to have ever ate this fruit.
Yeah.
It's very feasible. Well, so the way that the government, the Gorosei, phrased it was that the fruit hasn't awakened in like 800 years. So I think other people have eaten the Gamu Gamu no Mi, but no one's ever awakened it since Joy Boy's time. Luffy's the first person in 800 years to do so, which is why the government didn't really care about it up until now. You know?
Gotcha.
They changed the name, but it wasn't like people. I mean, it is a kind of a point to bring up. Like they've known about Luffy since the East Blue. They've known he's had the Gomu Gomu no Mi. Why didn't they try to come in after him earlier? And they just probably assumed he probably won't awaken it. The odds are very against it. You know.
Well, I mean, when we look at who actually stole the fruit, right?
Right.
Shanksy, little Shanksy boy.
It's a little.
Okay.
I don't know, man.
Yeah. Did you see the recent episode of the anime with the flashback with Uta and everything?
No, we haven't watched it yet.
All right. Well, there's some stuff in there. Anyway, about that.
I'm starting to think. I don't know, man. Maybe Shanks
because he took it. And, Luffy ate it. Was he, did Roger say something about the fruit? Did they find out something more about the fruit when they did arrive at the One Piece? And that's why he was laughing. Like, there's so many questions I have. And why did Shanks go out of his way to take it? And was he going to eat it? Was he going to give it to someone else? Does Shanks already have a...
the question.
I will say this. There's a theory going around. Excuse me, and it's been around for a while. Shanks is evil. Turns out he's evil the whole time. I don't think Shanks is evil, like he wants to like kill Luffy or something. Like, he rips out Luffy's heart and he's like, now I will have the devil fruit. Like, that's not going to happen. But Shanks is a Yonko. He's a very intelligent character. He might have manipulated things like on the chessboard to get it into the place where he wants it to be right now. That could have definitely happened. I like to think he planned on eating the fruit himself eventually. Luffy eating it was an accident, but that might not be the case. It might have been part of the master plan from day one. I don't know.
Yeah, I think if anything, Shanks is just going to be a morally gray character.
Yeah.
Not necessarily evil. But he does have a relationship with the elders, too. We saw him in Marijois talking to them.
I'm going to talk to you guys about a pirate. Like, were they talking about Luffy before?
Was he talking about the Gomu Gomu no Mi?
He knew at one point maybe Luffy is getting to the point where he could actually awaken the fruit, He's like, okay, we need to slow this boy down.
Yeah, something's going to have to happen here. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's theories. Everything from Shanks was a celestial dragon. His parents were celestial dragons. So that's, who knows if that's accurate, and it's like, or Shanks is just because he's such a strong pirate, but he's also more reasonable. Like if Kaido or Big Mom asked for an audience with the Gorosei, they'd be like, no, we're not going to let you anywhere near our holy city. But Shanks is like, he does things properly. So it's like, okay, we could talk to him. He probably won't like kill us. We can actually sit down and have a conversation with this guy.
I mean, it's one of the things I love about the One Piece community is there's theories galore. And one of the other things of significance that people pointed out too was that, obviously, and it doesn't necessarily mean Shanks is evil or anything, but that every time Shanks is featured on a cover of the manga, he's always with Blackbeard. Like they're always together on the manga covers. Not only that, but apparently even like the other news and the big reveal that we get too about them being emperors now, Luffy officially being an emperor now, on top of freaking Buggy, dude, which is crazy.
I called it. That was one of the, I was like, what if Buggy just continues to rise in the ranks by just like luck or just little things, and there he is.
That's Buggy's whole character right there in a nutshell. Yeah.
But people were telling us in our community, like, look at volume all the way back. I think it was. I wrote it down. I can't find it now.
Volume 24, I think.
24, 25,
20. Yeah, it's the one where they all are on it. Yeah, I saw that.
They're all there. They're all there. And people say that they're there even in the same order that they were featured in the in that poster. 25. Yeah. Do you have every single volume?
That's the entire third shelf back here. Everything's One Piece. Yeah, I hope it ends before I run out of space.
That whole shelf is going to be One Piece. Yeah, we got to get on that. We got to get all of them.
It's just the box sets. You just have to do it.
Yeah. Some people sending me. I actually have I have duplicates of so many chapters because people send me the box sets, and I'm like, I already have these, but okay, thank you.
People just send you box sets, dude?
Yeah, I got box sets in the mail. Yeah.
Oh, well, you're about to sell
Fans
one.
Fans are great, man.
You're about to sell one right now.
Thanks to everybody.
So, yeah, I think that this is crazy, too, right? That it wasn't even a Paramecia-type devil fruit, obviously a zone. And I think that, the significance of the will, and we know about these bloodlines, right?
Yes.
The significance of them being passed down through zone, because there's a line here that I forget if it was one of the elders or not, but basically said that it carries they have like their own personality or something.
Yeah, that was one of the elders. The way they phrased it was like zone fruits have a personality of their own, which makes sense because they're animals.
Right.
So I like to think that like, okay, like a giraffe zone, like Kaku's zone, actually has the spirit of a giraffe in it, which is just an animal. But then you start to think about what about human fruits that they have like the souls of humans in them, which makes it more complicated. You know what I mean? Which also is great because now we have 2 members on the Straw Hat crew that have the power of a human fruit, which I find hilarious.
Yeah.
You know? Chopper and Luffy are like, Luffy, you have the same fruit as me. You know, like,
they're gonna bond. They're gonna bond.
Yeah,
hard
they're gonna bond now. Yeah. But that brings up a very important question. Does Luffy even know he has the sun god fruit now? Or
that's a great question.
Yeah, because he wouldn't even know.
Yeah, no, I would believe that he wouldn't, and nobody would tell him because nobody there on his crew, nobody that he was interacting with at that moment knows. The only people that seem to know are Shanks and the elders.
Kaido had a suspicion because he's like, you've awakened, but this awakening is so different from a paramecia. It seems like a zone. And I was actually hoping, because Marco has a mythical zone as well, I was hoping Marco would have noticed and talked to Luffy about it, like, but Marco kind of just left because he had to get back to where he was
did just
going.
kind of leave.
Yeah, no, he just left. He off screen. Yeah, he's just gone, which makes sense because he has important stuff to do. So he was probably like, okay, cool, I helped you out with the fight, but I got to get going. So that makes sense. Yeah.
I love Marco, dude.
Oh, he was so good in this arc.
He was amazing, amazing. But yeah, I don't think anybody would tell him. Momonosuke might know because he was talking to Zunisha. I don't know, but we didn't see him share that information with Luffy. So in my opinion, in my head, Luffy has no idea.
He has no idea. Yeah.
Because he even calls it, and I'm sure he'll continue to call it Gear 5. Like,
oh, yeah. Yeah, he's not going to change the name. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's that, which we're going to get obviously all that more into, but on top of finally figuring out what happened with Sabo, that was something.
Yeah,
oh my God. I was using my observation hockey. I swear.
I called it.
I was like, there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way he's going to die. Oda would not introduce him again and then kill him off again. I'm sure he was framed or something, and here we go. Exactly. I was shocked.
I was, throughout that whole mess, I wasn't sure if he was dead or not. I don't think Oda would have done that, but like, I was like, Cobra's definitely dead, because he was already sick, and he was talking about wanting to talk to the Gorosei, and the Gorosei don't like him, and I'm like, he's so dead by the end of this.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
Yep.
I was even scared about Vivi.
Well,
Vivi as well. Yeah, we don't know what's up with her. So
I know.
Yeah. And the last time I think we saw her, obviously, was during the Reverie, but Imu was taking her, walking away with a picture of her.
Yeah. Kind of creepily staring at Vivi, like, where's this going? Is this going to go somewhere like Im wants Vivi to be their bride, or is this like because Vivi is a Nefeltari, which used to be members, should have been celestial dragons, but they chose to not be.
Right.
So is it sort of like, she's the one that like escaped us or something? I don't know. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
See, I wonder, okay, and I'm sure, again, there's theories galore. And now that after this video, we're officially caught up, we're going to be right there in the trenches, in the theory trenches with everybody else. But I don't know if
fun with that.
Dude, I love it, dude. I love it. I don't think I've heard sort of your opinion or your idea, or if you do have any thoughts, I'm sure you do, and ideas on who Imu is, what their significance is. Like, I don't know why I thought we were going to get to see more of them.
Well, I'll tell you this much. After arcs are over, that's when Oda usually reveals stuff. So, like, Wano's now over. Maybe in the next few chapters, we'll get Im's face or something. I don't know. But Im, I've always imagined... There's so many theories regarding Im. Immortal Ghost is a good one. Like, just a ghost from the time of the Void Century. I don't know if that's the case or not. I definitely think... Actually, I think Im has been around for a very long time. I don't think Im, like, it's like successors or whatever. Like, Im is the king that's been around forever. And I also like to think that Im has the strongest conqueror's hockey in the world, where basically to the point where Im can like remove your own will, and basically that's why the Gorosei like bow to Im, and just like, he can take that away from you.
Yeah.
Or she, we don't know. Yeah.
Maybe I can never pronounce it. Lunarian, because they were already kind of planted there.
Yeah. Maybe.
Because King. It's like King.
And there was like a lot of that in Wano too. I mean, like, Oda really drove home and emphasized and overemphasized the Lunarian thing.
Yeah.
We heard it from like so many different people. Like Queen said it, then King himself said it, then like there was a flashback to Whitebeard telling Marco about it. Like, it's just like so in your face. I can't help but believe.
And this
that
was a
there's gonna be
race
big
that we've never knew that existed in the One Piece world before. So it's like, okay, and they have black wings, which is similar to the Skypeans. So where's the connection there? I think Oda's just going to wrap all this together at the end with like the origin of like all races on the planet Earth kind of all originated from one point or one piece, which is probably the moon. Because everything comes back to the moon eventually. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love that, dude. I can't tell you how much I would love that.
Yeah.
But Sabo, right? Okay, so you called it. Sabo is. It seems like he's not imprisoned at this point.
No.
Right?
No.
He because it was just such a red herring for sure from Oda, seeing everyone like. I always go back to like Danan and everybody in Windmill Village like weeping to really make you feel
we
like
we just got him back and now he's gone.
Yeah, they literally said we
chill.
just got him back.
No.
Yeah.
So it made me think like, is he in prison? But then at the end,
I think it was just because Dadan was basically Sabo's like foster mother. The idea is like he fought against two admirals at Marijois is like that we don't know if he's dead or not or where he's at right now, so he could be injured or something. So that's like I think just Dadan having like a motherly concern for Sabo,
Yeah, she's seen it with. I mean, Luffy's fine, but with Ace, it's like
well, not with Morgan's out there, dude. Morgan's gonna get the freaking truth out there.
He is. He is a journalist of integrity.
I've always loved him.
From the minute he came on page, Mehgan was like, I love this guy.
He's
and I was
so
like,
funny.
why?
And he's just like a big old bird, and he's just chill, and he has integrity, and he is a journalist that I respect.
I mean, he's in it for the money 100%, but he has enough to like give the middle finger to the world government of like, I don't care what you want me to run. I'm running the story that's going to get the most clicks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I don't know. They're calling. I have it down too. I wrote it down. They're calling him the Fire Emperor,
the Flame Emperor,
the Flame Emperor.
In Japanese it's Entei, which is the name of Ace's that final attack he used against Blackbeard back on Banaro Island,
and a legendary Pokemon. Dude.
And it's a legendary Pokemon. Although I was more of a fan of Raikou, but Entei was all right, I guess.
Entei was awesome, dude. I was an Entei. I mean, Raikou's the electricity one.
Yeah,
right?
Raikou's the electricity one. Mehgan, you seem like Suicune.
Yeah, she would be a Suicune for sure. She would be a Suicune. 100%.
It sounds cute. It sounds sweet.
You don't know Suicune?
No, what does it look like?
It's like a dog, kind of legendary dog Pokemon. Kind
yeah, legendary dog Pokemon. It's blue. And it's like sapphire.
Blue, ice,
like
icy
kind of Pokemon.
I'll look into
it up.
It.
Yeah,
I'll get back to you.
It's a compliment. You should be flattered.
Okay.
You should be.
Yeah, it's a great. It's the one that got the movie out of it. But anyway, yeah.
Right. But yeah, they're calling him the Flame Emperor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is funny. Luffy just finds out information so late.
Everyone,
yeah. And he's the last to know about anything because even we see Kid being like, the one with the scar on his face, which I assume is Sabo.
Oh my God, that's okay.
Okay, yeah. Let's talk about that.
I mean, we could hold off on that. That's a long,
No, I want it now.
I open up the can of worms. No, I'm just kidding. No, I want it. I'm a fish.
Take your pick. I mean, I think it could be Aokiji. Because
that's what Mehgan said.
Marked by flames. Yeah, I think it makes a lot of people jump immediately to Sabo because he has the scar and he's the Flame Emperor. But I'm like, I don't think Sabo has anything to do with the road poneglyphs. I don't think that makes any sense. The way that Kid was talking about it was actually, okay, if you really want to break this down.
Yes.
The way that Kid talked about it to Luffy was, we know something that you don't. We know about the man with scars and you don't, giving us an edge. Now, I originally assumed, the man with flames might be able to read poneglyphs, but Luffy already has Robin on his crew, so I can already do that. So I'm thinking the man with the flame scars or the tattoo of flames, because there's different ways you can read it. It knows where the fourth one is, or has information regarding the fourth one that Luffy's crew does not know. Kid knows. I think Law knows something about it as well. Yeah.
Damn, dude. So do you think that? I mean, it would kind of make sense that Aokiji would maybe know.
Yeah.
That makes sense, and we haven't seen him for a long time.
We haven't seen Aokiji. He's burned by flames. He's just a wanderer, drifter. He's connected to Blackbeard somehow, but he used to be an admiral, man. He knows stuff.
Yeah, he knows stuff. Now, did we see that? Because I thought that was interesting when we watched. What movie was it in that Aokiji
Z.
When Aokiji popped in? Have we seen him like that in the manga yet?
Oh yeah, we saw him like that when he showed up at Punk Hazard to fight against.
Punk Hazard.
Now he didn't take off his clothes to reveal like his scars or whatever. We saw those in Film Z, but it's the same design. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah, my confusion came from, I think we watched Film Z first, so I saw it first in Film Z and then saw it later. So
I guess we did not see him without a leg in the manga, but he doesn't have a leg. It's just his ice that he uses.
Because I just have this like really vivid memory of him in Film Z, and he looked jacked up, dude.
He got burned pretty bad,
And Kainu doesn't look that messed up, dude. I mean, he's got a little scar, whatever.
I mean, when you think about it, magma versus ice, I mean, the winner seems pretty obvious, and it was. But they still fought for like 10 solid days straight.
Yeah,
he
held it down for a long time. I just don't think, I completely agree. I don't think there's any way it could be Sabo. There's just no way that would make sense. And it's also kind of too obvious, I think, right?
Yeah.
Outside of not making sense.
Yeah, I only took it in context of like, you don't know it yet because you haven't read the paper. I was like, okay, well, I mean, that makes sense. Luffy's like, huh? But that.
On top of, and there's some obviously other stuff, and I'm just kind of jumping to the first thing that comes to mind. On top of, by the end of it all, them setting sail to their next location, which for us, we have no idea what that next destination is. And I have a feeling even with the first couple chapters coming out after, I don't know that it's going to be something that's going to be revealed
Taking is smiling.
Away.
I don't know.
No. So this is not, okay, we don't know yet. Okay, we seriously do not. But last year, there was a data book that was released that was a map book of One Piece, and I did a video about this. And in the map book, there were 3 islands around Wano, which were in the exact same locations as they were when Law was talking about northeast, east, southeast, same locations. And the way that it is in the map book, which might not be accurate, but the way it was determined is Law is going to Elbaf, Kid is going to Hachinosu, where Blackbeard is based, Luffy's crew is going to Sphinx, where Marco is. That's the way it was in the book, okay? Might not be real, okay? But that's the way that it was there.
Law getting to go to Elbaf makes so much sense, and I would love that. I would absolutely love that because the Straw Hats are going to have to go back there anyway, right?
I know. I can't wait. I can't wait to see Usopp on Elbaf.
That has to happen. I don't know. I don't think the arcs are going to be that long because we're moving along here, but they have to go there at some point. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the thing in the final saga. We don't know how many arcs are going to be in this saga, but I don't know. I mean, Oda's talking like it's going to be, 3 years or something
3
like
years.
that?
But he always kind of underestimates.
I heard that from, I think the editor said that, but I always take that with a grain of salt because, you say 3 years to do this and it's ends up being 5. I don't know, but it's not going to last a tremendous amount of time.
Yeah, I'm thinking 5.
But because they do have to eventually go there, regardless of how much time they have to be there. The alliance with Law and the Heart Pirates, it's over, and that's sad. That saddens me to my core. But I'm glad it didn't end in betrayal. I'm glad they saw it through to the very end. It's over now. So I would like to see them cross paths again outside of this alliance, especially if they're going after the same thing, because Law is a good man, okay, and he gave the road Poneglyph to Kid. Like, it just doesn't feel right to not. I mean, you earned this,
and he
too,
already took a.
There's honor. And even Big Mom said it when she punched Page 1 out in this arc. It was like pirates still have a code of honor. You don't mess with, and so that's the kind of idea with Law where it's like, okay, you fought for this. It would be a dick move for me to keep this and just not give it to you. So So the way the Poneglyph thing shakes down is, I believe Luffy has 3 of them. Law has 2, maybe 3. It depends if they gave Law the one that they found on Whole Cake Island, which I'm not sure they did. And then I guess Kid also has 2 because they mentioned they got one from Big Mom's commanders. So I'm not sure. So Luffy's crew should be in the lead right now. Yeah.
It would make sense then that if because that other island that Kid's going to is also full of lead, right? Or
full of lead is which by the way I like better than Hachinosu, but yeah, that's the island they're going to according to the map book. Yeah.
So if Kid does know something or knows someone who knows something about that 4th Poneglyph, then it makes sense then that he would get that to be 3rd, right? So that he would have 3 and be tied with the Straw Hats, but then they would have to go get that one and get the 4th.
Because Kid doesn't have the one on Zoe, so that wouldn't make any sense. Yeah.
Another person we got to talk about. We got to talk about this person. When we were first introduced to this person, I had no idea the significance, but this man is overhearing everything, dude. He heard about he heard everything in Fishman Island.
Yep.
And now he's hearing he heard about Pluton being in Wano. He's just, his ears are everywhere.
He's very drippy. And
he's a slimy, swampy guy.
Yep, literally.
Caribou, man. He's, who is he talking to? Who does he have to relay this information to?
I immediately went to Blackbeard because like it's just like Blackbeard and Caribou working together. They seem like very slimy individuals. You know what I mean? I think it works. But there's other people. It could be somebody in the underworld. It could just be somebody else. But I'm gonna go with Blackbeard for right now.
Do we know? And I might be pronouncing it wrong. It's Zebek, right? Rock.
Yeah. There's two ways to pronounce it: Zebek or Zebek. I've heard. I think they use Zebek in the anime, but I always say Zebek. Yeah.
Do we know what his fate was? Like, do we know if he's dead or locked up or where he's at?
38 years ago at the God Valley incident. It was just mentioned by Garp that God Valley was wiped off the map and Rocks met his end that day or faded into history. Very vague, kind of, The way Garp speaks about it is like he's dead, but we just don't know. And I think Garp even had a line at one point, like, if Rox's crew was revived at full power today, we would be screwed. Like, there's no way that we could fight back. So he's probably, it's anime, it's manga. He's probably not dead, but we don't know.
Is there any weight to the theory that Zebek and Caribou, I mean, they, by design alone, they do look similar?
It is, yeah. It's not completely far off. I don't think there's anything directly that connects them, but maybe.
And well, what connects Blackbeard and Caribou is that isn't one of Blackbeard's ships like called?
Blackbeard and Zebek is Zebek, it's the saber of Zebek, and Blackbeard is around 40 years old, and God Valley happened 38 years ago. So you're thinking maybe if Rox had a kid, and then it could be the case. There's definitely a connection between Blackbeard and Zebek in some way.
Now that we're caught up, that's definitely something that I need to like step my game up on. And like, it's going to be through watching your content and having conversations.
Oh, thanks.
Your timelines, like your geography, like all of the, just that knowledge that you just have and can pull from is so valuable. I have no idea.
There's so much background stuff in the story. Read all the SBSs, read all the data book, the Vivra cards. There's so much.
But I think that just comes from your love of like actual history and mythology too,
I'm reading about Imperial China right now. That's a thing. So
I love that. I love that about you, and I want to be like you.
Oh, thank you.
I want to be like you.
You don't, but it's okay.
I want to have that knowledge, dude. I want to have it.
Yeah, Josh is like Bartolomeo.
Yeah, I'm like,
you want to be just like
Luffy.
Real quick here, Josh. How tall are you?
5'10".
5'10". Or are you going to be downgraded to 5'5"? So there you go.
Well, I mean, the hair makes up for it.
There you go, I guess. Yeah.
But yeah, I Caribou's obviously someone that's going to have a lot of significance later down the line, and he's passing that off to Blackbeard. That would make sense. I doubt he would have a connection to anybody higher up at all.
You know what? Oh, people did suggest Buggy though, which I can kind of also see that. I don't know if Buggy's super interested in like ancient weapons though. He's never mentioned that. Blackbeard's interested. Maybe Crocodile.
Maybe for sure, Crocodile. For sure, Crocodile.
I mean that now Buggy's an emperor. I mean, how much higher can you go? I think he's like, finally, I can just kind of chill. Until
he's going to be king of the world. He's
yeah.
That's how it ends.
He's not going to be happy until he sits on the empty throne. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Now with his new, and I'm looking, I have all the names and everything written down. But,
what is it? Cross?
Yeah,
Cross Guild, which is an epic name. I think Mihawk probably came up with the name for that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I just theorizing here. What do you think the top 3 highest Navy bounties would be?
Yeah, what do you think?
Oh God, yeah. So I still need to talk about that. I know Grand Line Review just made a video about that the other day. I mean, it would just be the admirals. It would be like, Akainu would have to have the highest because he's the fleet admiral. That just makes sense. Maybe Kong, because Kong is like, he's not really technically part of the Marines, but he's like the head of everything. But yeah, the admirals would probably be the same level as the Yonko. So we're talking like in the billions easily. Yeah.
So you're giving Akainu maybe 3 billion.
3-4 billion, something like that. And then like he's the highest, and then maybe Aokiji, not Aokiji anymore, but Kizaru, and then Fujitora, and then Aramaki, who we have to talk about as well. They would be maybe like 2 billion, 3 billion, something like that.
Yeah,
where's Buggy getting all this money from?
He's not going to be able to fulfill or honor any of that.
No, it's a lie. Akainu's definitely 420 billion.
420 billion?
420 billion.
Kizaru has to be 420 billion.
Yeah. But this is just such a cool thing, man. It's like beating them at their own game, right?
I love it.
You guys want to like put bounties on our head. Who said we can't put bounties on your head?
You want to take away my warlord position? I'm just going to start putting up bounties.
And the world is in such a chaotic moment right now with after the Reverie is over. The world's riled up because of the Revolutionary Army and Sabo. Like, there's going to be people out there fighting Marines now. So now it's going to be a chaos, you know?
Yeah, and there were around, I believe, like, what was it, eight nations, right?
There were 8 nations that are now like that were, I guess, previously not allied with the revolutionaries that are now like backing them severely. There was that one dude with the bandana that's like, revolution!
Yeah,
like,
dude.
we're doing this, you know?
And they're saying that Sabo has more pull now than Dragon.
The Dragon, yeah.
Yeah, which is pretty great. Which I don't think Dragon minds, dude. Dragon likes to work in the shadows.
It's the hero. Yeah, it's like hero of the people kind of situation that Sabo's, setting himself up as. So
yeah. I mean, dude, Sabo. Well,
I love Sabo too.
We coined him the wholesome daddy of One Piece. He's wholesome, but he's. I get why people worship him like a god, dude. Let me just say that. I get that. I get that.
He killed a king.
Right.
Maybe.
Right,
I don't know what's up with that.
But he set free Kuma, though. He says
that is true. That is true.
When we talked to you all the way back in Impel Down, I can't remember if we had any conversations. You know, I know we were kind of throwing stuff out there to kind of gauge your reaction.
I remember back then you were like, Ace is Dragon's son as well. And I'm like,
that was right after that.
Next episode's going to be fun for you. And
that was literally right after that episode with you. And I remember feeling like, well, everybody in the comments too was like, Tekking's poker face is like the best, dude. He's got the best
God,
poker
it's
face.
not. It's horrible.
And I was like, what poker face? What are you talking about? And I just realized in that moment, like, damn, dude. And now, like, you know, we haven't done it too much yet because we just caught up. But we've gone and we've talked to some other One Piece YouTubers in the community and have had to not spoil things.
Oh yeah. That's fun. Yeah,
I can't do it, dude.
It's hard, dude.
So
it's hard sometimes.
Hard.
It's terrifying. It's genuinely terrifying. Because you'd never want to be that guy who ruins it because, you know, they have a community of people who love them too and don't want it spoiled for them.
Yeah.
And if you're the one that does it, they're coming for you with pitchforks.
Yeah, you can't just rewind and be like, forget you ever heard that.
Yeah, forget you ever heard that. Yeah, it's okay.
But we were talking, I can't remember if we were talking a lot about Kuma back then.
I don't think we talked a lot about him, no. But yes.
I mean, we learned about his relationship with Bonnie too.
Mm-hmm. And we don't know what's up with that, like the whole story there. But his epithet used to be Tyrant. So people's like, oh, he might have been the Tyrant of the Sorbet Kingdom, which Bonnie is connected to. Might have been something like that. I don't know.
Tyrant, and I can't remember where I heard it. It might have been in one of your videos. It might have been, I don't know, somewhere online. But that him holding a Bible then could signify maybe he's on a quest for like redemption.
I always thought the Bible, like at this point, like Vega Punk programmed it in, like he opens the Bible and all of his memories or stuff are stored in like an SD card on that thing, and he can like re-download if ever he needs it. Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah,
that'd be fun. But yeah, dude, I mean, I remember at the time, you know, he was such a big part of everything that was going on, and then I couldn't help but wonder, like, what is his significance? And even still being at the end of Wano and really having no idea.
He hasn't done much for so long just because he's essentially a robot now. And he has no free will, but that could change. So we'll see where it goes.
And Vega Punk, too. Yep. Like, knowing absolutely no. I remember when we were, you know, first going into Wano, and I saw pictures of like Hyoguro, I think, on Luffy's back. I was like, that's Vega Punk, dude. Before I knew who it was.
It's just, and now watch what happens. It actually turns out he's Hyogoro's like twin brother, and he looks exactly like him. It's like, oh, there it is. Okay.
Right. It's the same thing with the guy that Frankie was working for, dude. There's one of them.
Minatomo.
In every village or every island. But we don't know anything about Vega Punk. I mean, we know more about him, but we don't really get the full picture yet.
Yeah.
And that's something that has to be touched on.
At this point in the story, though, I feel like this is the perfect time for him to show up, because I think now that we know so much more about devil fruits and like the mysteries about them, I think Vega Punk showing up and explaining all this now would be perfect.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, especially after Momonosuke and the kind of blood,
and then the whole sun god thing. It's just like
yeah, and the the bloodline elements and finding out more about that too. But yeah, it does seem like now would be the time for him to pop up. I hope so, dude. I got if I have expectations for any character, dude, it's Vega Punk. Like
Vega Punk, dude. Like this is so crazy. Like he was first mentioned at Thriller Bark. That was back in like 2007. So we're like 15. I know, right? 15 years ago, and this character still hasn't been introduced yet. But that's like the majesty of Oda. That's then One Piece. It makes you like, wow, he takes his time with this. He just,
Exactly. And speaking of taking time, I'm sure we'll definitely get maybe a Zoro flashback part, just like we did with Sanji. I
was upset that the Zoro visiting Ryuma's grave never happened. I mean, it might have happened, but we didn't see it. So flashback with that, I think, is necessary. Yeah,
with Zoro too facing the Grim Reaper. Across
what was up with that? Like
the literal and actual Grim Reaper.
No, people thought it was gonna be Brook, like Brook went to go save him, and then like Zoro seeing him, like it would be funny. No, that was the legitimate avatar of death incarnate. Okay, that was terrifying. Yeah,
it was.
And for Zoro to come back from that. Yeah. I mean, of course, you say so he got lost on the way to hell or whatever, or, all kinds of funny explanations, but. Did he make some sort of deal? Was it just not his time yet?
I mean,
the Grim Reaper's like about to reap his soul, and he's like, all right, you know what? You get one free pass. Next time, I'm taking it. It's just
yeah.
I mean, he literally said, I've come from the depths of hell.
Yeah.
Was that was him just being like, damn, that fight was real rough. It felt like
hell.
hell.
Yeah, that was a cool fight. Enma and all that.
Or did he actually go to hell? But Zoro wouldn't go to hell, would he?
Well, he would have tried. He'd just gotten lost, and he would have ended up back in the world of the living. So there you go. Yeah.
Exactly. And I mean, this is probably not the case at all. But if we're just if we're just humoring,
if we're shooting the shit,
each other.
Yeah, I mean that's what's fun about One Piece. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know how time moves, right? In
general,
these other dimensions, right? I mean, the hellscape.
Oh no, absolutely not. Yeah.
So what if Zoro did go down there and there was some sort of thing?
He died and spent 10,000 years in hell, and he made it back, and he's like, "Yep."
But he's like, nothing happened.
Yeah,
nothing happened. I did that. Yeah.
He's the same. He's like, no time has passed.
I just chilled out and drank sake with the devil. It was fun,
Yeah, I wonder if he remembers that even, like seeing the Grim, because he comes back and he's just so Zoro and just in high spirits, drinking.
And he was conscious when the Grim Reaper showed up. He's like, "Who the hell are you?" And that's like,
Do you have any idea?
No, I mean,
I'm completely out of the. I think it was the actual Grim Reaper. I just think Zoro came the closest he's ever been to death at that moment. That was what Oda wanted to show us. Yeah.
Well, it worked, dude. It worked, and it got my brain feeling all tickly, man. Because I was thinking of all these things it could have been and could have meant. But you were talking about his backstory. And we're finding out a lot about Shimotsuki Village, right? And this old man from Wano that was there.
Kozaburo,
that ended up being his best friend's grandfather, right? And it's pretty heavily implied and alluded to that Zoro is related to Ryuma, right?
Yeah, so that's a complicated family tree. Everybody thought it was Ushimaru, who was the original, the daimyo of the Ringo region that was killed by, they were one of the 3 samurai that were locked in the cave with Yamato when he was a little kid. Yeah. So Oda came out in SBS and clarified Ushimaru is not Zoro's dad. So it's like, okay, but there's clearly, Ryuma and Zoro look very similar. Yeah. So I like to think, you want to say Ushimaru was Zoro's uncle, great uncle, cousin. There's like, it's not a direct lineage kind of thing, but Zoro is related in some way. Yeah.
Right. He has to be.
Yeah, I don't think, for sure.
Yeah. And, there's all these theories and people talking about Zoro being from Wano. I like the idea. I don't know, again, the timeline. I like the idea that maybe his parents, his family obviously was, but that he was born.
He was, I think it was stated he was born in Shimosuke, and his master, Koshiro, is the son of Kozaburo, who came from Wano. So, Shimosuke Village has been there for over about 50 years or some such. So, Zoro would have definitely been born there, but
So then he would, by some extension, be related to his best friend, right?
Yes, that's the crazy thing. Yeah, that's it, because so Kozaburo left Wano, came to the east. There was an island filled with a bunch of bandits. They chased off the bandits. Kozaburo fell in love with an East Blue woman, and then had Koshiro, and then Koshiro had somebody else. Was married to somebody else, and then they had Kuina. Meanwhile, if Zoro's parents were also like refugees from Wano, then maybe they were part of the Kozaburo's clan. Maybe there would be some. I mean, it would be very tenuous, but they could be related. Yeah,
right. Distant third cousins or something.
Something like that. Yeah. I mean, it could be very likely.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be just fun to see him figure out or piece together or whatever, because seeing him piece together everything about the blades and Enma and everything in that moment in that fight with King was really awesome.
And then there's the whole thing with like Tashigi looking like Kuina, and it's like, okay, where does she factor into all this? How
many of these things do you think are gonna get like actually tied up? Everything can't be.
No way.
My hope is that at the end of the story, and the manga's concluded, Oda's just going to do a big data book, and he's like, look, here's the stuff I couldn't fit in the story. You want to know what's up with Tashigi and Kuina? Here you go.
Yeah.
Like, this is Zoro's family tree. Have fun. It's like, I couldn't fit it in. There you go.
Yeah. Because there's just so many loose ends to tie up. I mean, we have a long time, but with one chapter, however many, once a week or every other week or whatever.
Yeah.
Who knows? My
dream would for it to be to end in 2027, because that'll be 30 years exactly. Because I have like this nice like straight 30-year story, perfect bookend. But it probably won't be before that. It probably will be.
I mean, that'd be great. Okay, so I just want to go through and make sure we've hit all the major bullet points.
Okay.
So anything that we've already kind of talked about, we don't have to spend too much time on. We could just kind of pass right by. But we just like to give our general thoughts. I know that was a longer section of general thoughts, but it's not every day we get to talk to Tekken, okay?
We're caught up now.
We're caught up now.
We've earned our badges.
Oh, I'm here, so there's going to be tangents. Just
and I am here for that too. So this is also a line, and this is where we left off. We picked up right where Luffy woke up.
Yeah.
And in Merjois, which I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong too, there's a line. What if I told you that there was a potential future that would make us beg for this outcome? Does that mean that there's a potential future where they are begging for the return of Joy Boy? Is that this is at the very beginning of chapter 1044.
1044, yeah. I'm not, hold on, that's 1045. Hold on a second, let me go back one.
Yeah.
Has it ever succeeded for 800 years?
Yeah, because then they say in every era, obviously the government has attempted to
I think it's honestly it's a balancing act with the world government, because it's like, all right, we could have a world where the sun god, the Joy Boy, returns, and it's like, that's a problem because that was our original enemy. But it's like, but right now we have a world that like Kaido and Big Mom live in, so it's like pick your poison kind of situation. I think it's the government realizing they're losing control of everything. That's why during the Reverie they were talking about their time to have a great cleansing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think they're starting to ramp up that. Like, we got to push the kill switch on this because it's getting kind of crazy out there.
Yeah, and they know that. They have to be aware of what happens every 800 years, because it was made to be known that every 800 years it's almost like a reset, or you get this like second chance, the second coming, or this this
I like to think
reemerges.
they've done the like the cleansing thing a few times in the last few hundred years. Like maybe like 600 years ago things were getting crazy, so reset. 300 years ago things were getting crazy, reset.
Yeah. They also say that, that's the devil fruit. It's like the devil fruit itself is trying to escape our grasp. Zone fruits have a will of their own, because I wrote down too, because like you said, Tekken, they have the spirits of the animal.
Yeah.
Inside of them, which is just very interesting, because even really starting to think about inanimate objects being fed devil fruits as well too is something that it
makes sense. Also, the Gorosei say like the sun god fruit has been avoiding us, so it's like maybe when the fruit gets reincarnated, they get to choose like where it reincarnates away from the world government, something like that.
Yeah, because there is that theory too that it sort of reincarnates or reemerges at the closest fruit nearby.
Yeah, so there's like the closest fruit theory. No matter what the fruit is, the devil fruit will turn into it. And then there's the theory that, like, let's say, like, Buggy's fruit is shaped like a pineapple, so it'll be reincarnated in the nearest pineapple. So there's a different theory, but zones might be the exception to that rule. We don't know.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's super interesting. And that's where we've learned that it's a zone type human fruit, mythical model Nika. This was crazy. I mean, when this happened, do you remember still that feeling? It was not that long ago.
I remember reading. That wasn't that long ago. I remember reading that chapter and like, this is a game changer. This is the final. This is Gear 5th. This is the moment.
And as it was leading up to that, maybe we'll say like Act 2 Wano or Act 1 Wano, like, were you able to see that coming?
I assumed Luffy would have to awaken to defeat Kaido. Like, that was what's going to happen. But the whole thing with Nika, like, name drop didn't happen until, like, Jinbei was fighting Who's Who. So we had no idea about that. So it's like, okay, Oda's setting something up with this, and Luffy, obviously, and Joy Boy, obviously, have a huge connection. But yeah, so he did awaken, and it was Gear 5th. It just was completely different than what I thought it was going to be. Yeah.
Yeah. It was, even though, like I said, we had seen the images, the whole Acme cartoon character absurdity side of it, I never got that spoiled, and I'm so glad I didn't. It was so amazing.
It's so funny just to see Kaido's like eyes popping out and like, you know, Luffy throwing him around and shit. I'm like, I love that.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. It was great. And that's when they say the line, it is said that in the world there's no power more ridiculous.
No power more ridiculous. Possessing a body, you know, with the properties of rubber and fighting whatever he fancies, bringing smiles to the faces of people. The warrior of liberation, also known as the sun god. I mean, that is Luffy in a nutshell. Come on now.
Yep, that's him.
Now. Oh my goodness.
And so they're also kind of saying that this person, right, Nika, let's say that Nika's bloodline elements or whatever are in this fruit. Mm-hmm. That this person was a rubber person?
Yeah, there seems to be a context that like Nika was a living thing at some point, maybe to have the fruit be modeled after them. So yeah. I don't know if it's like they were a legitimate god or if they just had the rubbery properties. I'm not really sure. This might tie back into like Vega Punk. He'll explain like where devil fruits come from and stuff. Devil fruits were all originally made from gods 5,000 years ago. Like, okay.
Yeah, but that does seem, and I don't, if that ends up being the case.
It's not far from possibility, you know?
It's not far from possibility, but I just, that almost feels too easy, you know?
Yeah.
Just to say like, oh yeah, gods created these things. There just seems like there's so much more to them that even if it is gods, it's more complicated than
I mean, you could take it to a next level where like, it's not gods creating them, it's gods becoming the fruits. Like there was a legitimate lightning god at some point, and that became Eneru's fruit, you know what I mean? Yeah.
I like that. See, now we're talking. But this is when we cut to, again, this was super frustrating when we were reading it. Momonosuke reveals herself to be Hiyori to Orochi.
Yes.
Man, I was so convinced that Kaido killed this guy because Kanjuro, when we saw Kanjuro take Momonosuke and they sliced through him on the boat, the moment they sliced through him, he sort of dissipated, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's how he survived, right? Was because of Kanjuro or Orochi from Kaido.
Oh, wait. Oh, you're saying Orochi survived because of Kanjuro?
Is that the case
or
no?
No. Okay, so... no, it's all right.
Sorry, I was all over the place.
No, you're fine. Oda revealed this in an SBS lately, and it's something that a lot of people like came to the conclusion of. He has the Yamato no Orochi fruit, which gives him 8 heads. You have to kill him 8 times. That's the only that's what Oda revealed. There you go. There it is. So Kaido cut off 1 head. The scabbards in the hallway when they encountered him cut off 6, and then when he transformed in front of Hiyori here, he only had 1 left, and then Denjiro sliced him down. So Denjiro got the kill off on him. Yeah.
Good.
Okay, because I was under the impression. Yes, thank you. I was under the impression that Kanjuro made a
fake one. I mean, that was a theory for a long time, but like, so it's an ability that's Oda said it was very annoying. But imagine if someone stronger had that ability. They had 8 extra. Imagine if Kaido had that for 8 extra lives. You know?
Well, Hawkins has something similar, right? With his,
don't. I'm still sad. I'm kind of sad about
I'm honestly heartbroken. I don't know if I'm supposed to be, but I'm heartbroken.
I kind of wanted more stuff with Hawkins, definitely.
Me too.
He was a very fascinating character with the tarot and everything. I hope he's not dead. I hope we get to see him again. But Killer did fight him, and his name is Killer. So, I mean...
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm glad Killer got to come back and get
that was
his
cool.
moment.
That was a really good moment.
Yeah and even that whole reveal, I mean... You know who I was talking about, the 1%
Yeah.
It was me.
Yeah, it was me.
I was like, no!
Yeah, dude, my heart was broken, dude.
Oh.
But yeah, this was, and we already covered a lot of this stuff. You know, Luffy. I wrote down Luffy as the mask now, confirmed. And him moving around like a cartoon character.
Yeah.
Turning into a giant, using Kaido as a jump rope.
I love when Luffy turns into a giant. He's about to step on Kaido, and Kaido just like bites him in the neck like you're a bigger target now. Proving that Luffy doesn't know 100% how to do it. It's like the first thing that comes into his mind he's going to do. And that just shows that he has room to grow with this ability.
Yeah. And that's his inner monologue, maybe just being like, man, I wish I was like bigger right now. I don't know. And he just like, and he just is.
Yeah.
Even the panel, and I wrote this down too, where Kaido used his club and smashed his face.
Oh, that was so funny. It was like silly putty. I love that.
It was hilarious. I loved that. But yeah, then Zunisha talks of the drums and the rhythm. Onigashima still in flames, and Raizo and Jinbei put out the fire. This was a really cool Raizo moment.
like that chapter. I really did. Just because Raizo was like, hey, I was already caught in one flaming castle. I'm never going to get caught with my pants down in that situation again. And then boom.
And he was able to seal the water from Zunisha in like one of his scrolls, right?
Yes. The Maki-Maki. It's the Maki-Maki no Mi. Yeah.
It was so cool, man. Then, that's when Luffy, it was like using the lightning. It looked like and we're watching the anime to react to, but he looked like he physically grabbed onto the lightning and then just started spinning around.
Yeah, he's using it like a pole vault, and then he's just chucking it. Like, Oda at this point is just showcasing like all the, like, Luffy can do pretty much anything. Anything that has a tangible form, even not because lightning's made of plasma, but anything made of matter or anything, Luffy can turn into rubber now and physically touch. Yeah,
he affects everything. Which is crazy. I can't get over it. I mean, it
makes you think of all the possibilities. Like if Luffy were to fight Akainu again, Akainu throws magma at him. Luffy could like grab the magma and like bounce it back like a softball or something.
I want to see. I want to see that now, dude. I want to see Akainu now. Where's Akainu at now, huh?
What you gonna do now?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know, man.
Because he doesn't stand a chance. Kaido confirmed teching right here. And I don't know if Kaido knows this for sure. This is information that he could also just never have gotten. But he says that Roger did not have a devil fruit.
I think that's been confirmed for a while now that Roger never had one. I mean, at least we've never seen him to indicate he had one. He was just a really badass swordsman.
And, a very powerful wielder of hockey, master of hockey. But for me, it's just like, the lesson is until someone flat out says it, like, don't
assume anything.
Don't assume anything, dude.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think there was a theory for a long time that Luffy had Roger's fruit. Like, Roger had the Gumu Gumu no Mi and Luffy inherited it or something because Shanks had it, but that obviously wasn't the case.
Right. And I do, and I was talking to Mehgan about something, and maybe I'll bring it up at the end, but we already talked about Zoro's ancestors, potential ancestors being the Daimyo of Ringo. That flashback to a young Kaido, I heard some people were pretty upset about not getting to spend more time with a younger Kaido.
Yeah, that was because with Big Mom we got a 2-chapter arc where she was at Elbaf, and so that was cool. And then with Kaido we only got like a quarter of a chapter or whatever, and it just kind of like flashed through his life very quickly. But it covered all the major points, I guess we could also see. Because also, like, his past is very connected to the Rocks crew, which I think when Oda finally gives us that flashback, Kaido will be part of that. So
yeah, and I think it was maybe frustrating because a lot of what was being told to us in Kaido's flashback, we already knew. It was information that we had learned during that flashback sort of chunk of chapters.
Do you want to know something really crazy? You ever see Stampede?
Yeah.
Kaido's backstory is almost exactly like Bullets.
See, now that I think about it.
Yeah. Bullet in the movie is pretty much like a prototype Kaido. It's really kind of funny when you actually look at it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've also heard things like that too, where Oda sometimes uses the movies as like these like beta tests.
Oh yeah. You can see that a few times throughout. Yeah.
Someone was saying definitely Strong World was that way.
Yeah, Strong World was a little different because Shiki is canon, but like that's how he introduced him. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right. But I can't, talking about movies, dude, I can't wait to see Film Red. Dude.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and we find out Uta might be canon in one of these chapters as well. Yeah.
I mean, she's pretty much, we don't get to see her explicitly.
We see a silhouette, which may be her, but it's probably her. Yeah.
I mean,
and what does this mean, I guess? Okay, so we haven't seen the movie, obviously.
I haven't either, yeah.
You haven't either?
No
okay.
one, yeah.
The anime, including these flashbacks, we know that the movie itself, canonically, it's sort of like not maybe entirely canon, but
no, I don't think the movie's gonna. Most of the movies aren't canon in the timeline. Yeah,
but Shanks having a daughter seems to be.
I think they wouldn't. I don't think Oda would have green-lighted that. Like, oh yeah, you want to have Shanks have a daughter? Okay, but I'm never gonna reference her again. That just seems a little bit like going too far with it. Yeah.
So because she has been featured in flashbacks in the anime, right?
Yeah, the last 2 episodes were tie-ins with Film Red, and you see her there. Yeah, but those could guess I'd be non-canon as well. But the way they did the episode, it could fit perfectly fine in the canon of the story. I didn't see any problems with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because just from what we know, it kind of changes a lot of Luffy's history, I guess, when he was younger, because
not as much as you'd think, because Shanks, like everything with Shanks, like giving the hat to Luffy and then him losing an arm and everything, that happened like right at the end of Shanks visiting Fuchsia Village. He was there for a whole year, like before that.
Right.
So the thing with Uta takes place like when Shanks, it's actually cool to watch those episodes. We see Shanks first arriving at Fuchsia and Luffy first meeting him, and then Uta's there, and then some stuff happens, and so she's not there by the time that Shanks gives him the hat and everything. So it does fit with the timeline okay.
And even though it's not canon, right? You know,
debatable,
right?
Yeah.
Debatable. We'll see, because and I go back to Stampede because of the Laugh Tale reveal that was
like that was canon. Yeah, so Oda will sprinkle little things in there. Yeah.
So this might just be a little sprinkle. I'm just saying, it might be a little sprinkle of real, actual canon stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the dads who desert their children crew. Is what
Mehgan has a beef with Yasopp, dude.
Why wouldn't I have a beef? Yeah, what do you mean? You like to support Yasopp? You're like, okay, the sea called to him. I'm like, oh my god.
Every mother in One Piece is dead, and every father is like a deadbeat. It's actually kind of So
Garp is there though.
Garp is
a grandpa,
he was more of a granddad. He was more of a dad to Luffy than anybody.
Well, he seemed to be there for Dragon too. Maybe.
Yeah, but I mean, look what happened to Ace. Like,
I did a whole video on Yasopp versus Gene Freaks from Hunter x Hunter. Like, who was the worst dad?
That's great.
I got to be honest with you. In the chapter where we see Yasopp, he's like, I'm not prepared to meet Usopp yet. You know, like he's freaking out. And I'm like, right then and there, that makes him a better dad than Gene, because Gene never wanted to meet Gon. He was just like, oh God, this is annoying. I don't want to, But Yasopp is like, he does feel genuinely bad about like, does he even know his wife is dead? I don't even know.
Yeah, he must not. He must not.
And I don't want to, I mean, my heart's going to break. I don't know if Usopp would be happy to see him. I mean, Usopp is living just fine without him. I think Usopp's going to be pissed.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I think Usopp's going to like to see him, because Usopp's like, I'm going to go out to sea and be a pirate just like my dad. I think he's going to be happy to see him.
Do you think he has any resentment for his mother?
I'll tell you what, like if there's a moment where like Usopp and Yasopp are reunited and Yasopp's like, so how's your mom? How's Banchina? And Usopp's like, she died like 12 years ago. Like, like, you didn't even know. Like, oh my God, that would be rough.
That would be a pretty heartbreaking moment.
Yep.
And a lot of people are saying that, Usopp might not make it to the end of all this stuff.
Okay, stop.
I don't think any of the Straw Hats are going to die. I don't think any of them are going to die.
Because there's a lot of people, because of that story that he told, or
oh yeah, his lies, his myths.
Yeah.
That come true.
Yeah. Them all coming true. That he's going to die on Elbaf or something.
Nah, Usopp will make it. If any of the Straw Hats are going to die, have it be Chopper. But I don't hate Chopper, but if I had to pick, if I had a gun to my head and it's like, you have to pick one Straw Hat to die, I'd be like, sorry, Chopper. Sorry, Chopper. Oh no, I'll just pick Brook. Yo-ho-ho-ho.
Okay, now you're coming after me, dude. I love Brook. Don't kill Brook. Brook's already died 1,000,000 times inside.
Yeah, okay. No, yeah.
But don't kill Frankie either.
No, Frankie can't die. He's my favorite. No, Frankie and Robin are safe 100%. Yeah,
they'll protect each other.
I mean, especially now. I mean, we didn't even really talk about it because it's not in these chunk of chapters, but Robin?
Oh yeah, she's a demon lady now. That's cool.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this isn't in that chunk of chapters, but we were kind of talking about it a little bit in our previous episode, but we have now you here to bounce those sort of thoughts off of.
Yeah, the way it's shaded, people are saying that it's hockey.
Oh yeah, it's armament hockey. It's just like, I think it might be her awakening, because she's now making she's making horns and claws and fangs now, which is not what she can normally do. So yeah,
I totally think she was awakened, and that might be her body. I mean, we've seen her make clones and stuff, but like that might be her. Like maybe she's in the core. Maybe it's just her.
I don't know, but it was epic.
It was epic.
Can't wait to see it again. Yeah,
it was epic. So after that flashback, a little conversation between King and Kaido about Joy Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Mehgan, you were kind of talking too. You because King for a period of time believed that Kaido might be Joy Boy, or maybe was convinced he was. And Kaido never really bought it. Kaido was like, you still consider me to be Joy Boy even after this world that I've kind of started to build or whatever. And then that's when King felt like, to me, he says something to the effect of like, either way, I'm going to make you king of the pirates or whatever. But then Kaido does have that realization where he says like, I know now who Joy Boy is. He's the person who's going to defeat me.
Yeah. Yeah, Kaido is kind of acting like a gatekeeper with it. He's like, anybody that can't defeat me doesn't deserve to be called Joy Boy and find the One Piece,
Right. Do you think that now, like, where is King going to fall now that who nobody's actually said, just like with Luffy's Devil Fruit, the real name of it being revealed. A lot of people don't know that Luffy was called Joy Boy by Zunisha, right? Outside of Momonosuke.
Outside of Momonosuke,
well, there are kids in Wano who were saying something about Joy Boy.
Yeah, but I don't think they were like saying that Luffy was like he was confirmed to be Joy Boy. I think they were just saying like there's a legend and maybe Luffy was that. I think that was it, yeah.
I just wonder, because we were kind of talking about it off mic, I just wonder now that, King came from the Lunarians, a civilization of people that had knowledge of these people, these things.
Yeah. They lived in the Red Line, so that's like it used to be called the Land of the Gods, like where Marijois is now. So it's like, okay, they might be the first civilization. They might have been like the gods of all the races of the world, and then the world government knocked them off their perch. It might have been something like that. Yeah.
Is he King isn't confirmed dead though, right?
Oh no, we see him later.
Oh, that's right.
Well,
that's right.
They threw them in the Udon prison, like Queen and King. They threw them in there, and then Aramaki showed up and drained them of their fluids. But I don't think they're dead. Yeah,
right. But I just wonder what the significance of King, because we get to see Dofi sometimes, hanging, in the depths of people down,
reading Garfield on the
just reading the newspaper. This chapter of Beetle Bailey was hilarious. This week.
He's not reading Garfield, Mehgan. He's reading Garpfield.
Oh,
Garfield.
we talked about this.
It's the One Piece version of Garfield. Yeah,
yeah, which I would love to see.
I would like to read that. Yeah,
yeah. But the last remaining Cypher Pole agent escapes Onigashima. And that's when Kaido says what he says about Joy Boy. The Otoko lantern moment was so sad. Mehgan was tearing
that was
up.
so emotional. I love that moment. Yeah.
Oh, poor baby.
Yeah.
And she just kind of, I miss you, Daddy, or I want you back, and said, just thank you.
Just
thank you for doing what you did so we could be free.
It was so powerful. Yeah. It was so powerful. Initially, I was a little frustrated by this. Momonosuke says that he's not going to open Wano's borders yet. It ends up making sense why he's not going to do it later.
Oh, we find out a big reason why he couldn't do that later. Yeah.
But in that first moment, when he first started to say that, I was like, what are you talking about? What has all this been for? But he has a really, really good reason for not doing that. Kaido and Big Mom, when they fall down their holes, the holes, which... is in the anime or I guess maybe this part hasn't been covered in the anime.
We're not to the anime yet. No. We're not to that part yet.
Law's move is new, like Awaken move is the something Willy, right? Is that?
Yeah, it's a shock. Okay, I call it Shock Willy because it sounds funny.
Right.
It's like German, so it's like Shock Ville or something like that. And it's Law's most of his attacks are named after in German. Like when he used the attack against Treble, the Steerben was like Death Blade or whatever. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
I was calling it his Long Willy.
His Long Willy. Yeah, that's how you make all the jokes. You know what
exactly.
I mean? Yeah.
That's why you got to call it Willy. But when they fall down, there's like a volcanic eruption that happens.
Yeah.
I still don't think Big Mom and Kaido
I don't think they're dead. Yeah.
No, I think they got severely injured and the eruption maybe freed them, but they're like comatose right now. Like they're not going to be in the story for a while.
Yeah.
You think they will come back at some point?
I think at some point they will be. Yeah, I think they should. Oda had to figure out a way to get them out of the story without killing them. So it's like half their faces are melted off by lava and they're like in a coma, but they are still technically alive. Yeah.
Right. That's when the samurai return with the rightful shogun.
This was, oh my gosh, such an amazing moment. This also made me tear up too. I mean, this is like the first time that they're being like revealed to everyone and everyone's freaking out and everyone's seeing these, quote unquote ghosts for the first time. And, like we said in the previous episode, Momonosuke got, Tom Hanks bigged.
Tom Hanks. And you know what? I love the context that nobody in the festival has any idea what the hell is going on right now.
Yeah.
And then it's just like they're partying and then they're like, well, time to go back to working in the mines today. And it's like, By the way, the Scabbards are here. Kaido's dead, Orochi's dead, and Momonosuke's now the Shogun. Like, okay.
They're like, I guess those lanterns really worked.
Back to work
holy
on
crap.
Monday.
Yeah, holy shit. What was in those lanterns, dude?
But yeah, that was awesome. I mean, what a great moment for Momonosuke.
Yeah, what a great moment. And even Kinemon telling him, just bluff it. Fake it till you make it, pretty much. Because he's like, I don't know what to say
Kinemon's
anymore.
the master of that.
Kinemon is the master of that.
Love
He's my
Kinemon.
favorite samurai of the Akazaya. I mean, he's so funny. Even later, when someone else is revealed to still be alive, his reaction, he's like, everybody knew. And Kinemon's just freaking out. Like,
oh, wait, they were the same person. Oh, I didn't even know that. Okay.
I love it. But Otama talks about her devil fruit abilities, like they wear off in about a month. Too.
Yeah.
That's when we find out that the 1% of the person who had a 1% chance of survival was Hawkins.
Basil himself. Damn.
Which again, out of the worst generation, Hawkins was up there for me.
He was high. I really liked him. Yeah.
Capone, I think I came around more to him after Whole Cake, but
Apu can just
be gone.
Apu is my least favorite, and then a Rouge we just don't know anything about. Yeah, really.
And Apu, from the moment we met him too, I was like, I don't like this guy.
No, yeah. His thing is like, I'm just going to be, he's more of like an information broker kind of guy where he's just like, I'm playing the field. I'm like working for everybody at the same time and selling all their information to each other. Like that's what he's doing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's a hustler for sure, but
definitely.
I don't know if he deserves to be part of the worst generation, dude.
He's definitely the worst.
He's the worst. He is the worst. He's the worst. They talk about a temple and a shrine being built for Odin.
Yes.
Yasui.
Oh yeah, Ashura Doji and Izo died. So
confirmed
that's
dead.
sad. Yeah.
Literally.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, literally,
Mehgan
we're
was in
reading.
tears
Yeah,
again.
we're reading that live, and I was like, "Wait!" And I was shocked, and then I was like, "Did we know about that earlier?" And I looked it up on my phone in real time. You could just see me react.
I was so sad, not so much for Ashura Doji because we didn't know him that well, but Izo died, and I'm like, that poor Okiku. Like she literally did not know about what happened to her brother, hasn't seen him in years, and then he's back, and then he's just dead. So that's so sad.
And they did get a reunion, but it was short-lived.
It was so short.
Yeah. It was short. That was very, very sad. And yeah, Oda's not pulling any punches, dude. He's like, we're about to be in the final saga, dude. People are gonna die.
People are dying. Orochi's straight up dead. So it's that's
and they're not coming back on any cover pages or anything like that. Okay. No, not another pound situation.
We get a ghost of Orochi that's just like, I will hunt you all for all time. Like, no.
That's when Luffy and Zoro wake up, which I was surprised to see Zoro wake up. I didn't know if he was going to be sort of comatose for a while after what happened.
He's strong.
Yeah,
but he's up and about.
That moment they don't know who Momonosuke is.
Oh yeah,
He's like, you guys woke up, and they're like, who are you?
The government is pissed about Luffy's picture, and Morgan's is not going to let them manipulate this one, dude. He just turned out to be one of the coolest. I mean, he's got a code of honor. He's a journalist, and he's got journalistic integrity.
And he'll hit people for it.
And he'll hit people for it. Yeah. Kid Law, Luffy now have bounties over 3 billion.
Oh my god!
And Luffy's an emperor.
And Luffy's a freaking.
We finally made it, ladies and gentlemen. Oh.
Which a lot of people, I think, considered him to be. I believe one of the titles of the Reverie chapters was the 5th Emperor, right? Because I think a lot of people...
back when Luffy was considered,
by
not a
people.
Real emperor, but the 5th Emperor,
The government didn't acknowledge him as an emperor, but people maybe...
were calling him that,
Yeah. But now it's official.
It's official.
Luffy's a straight up Yonko now.
Yonko time.
Yeah.
Damn, and I just love seeing Buggy... scratches way to the top to be on the same level as Shanks now. I think it's so hilarious.
Well,
he's like, look what I did.
The relationship between Shanks and Buggy, kind of still puzzles me. I mean,
Buggy hates Shanks, but Shanks loves Buggy.
Shanks does. I
honestly this is the thing where you get into Shanks being like duplicitous. Like, what if he planned all this from the beginning? Because Shanks obviously has a thing with Blackbeard. Like, he wants to fight Blackbeard, but he's wary of him. So now I'm thinking okay, he couldn't have attacked Blackbeard before because then maybe Kaido or Big Mom would have done something. So now his plan was to get Kaido and Big Mom out of the picture because he doesn't have to worry about Luffy, and he knows he doesn't have to worry about Buggy. And so now Shanks can take on Blackbeard unimpeded. Yep. You did it. You fucking did it.
But what if Shanks does have to worry about Luffy?
What if he does?
Yes.
What if he does?
And even
my
Buggy in that
gosh.
regard, because Buggy might not be a threat on his own, but
Right.
Shanks,
But-
I'm now Crocodile and Mihawk. So there you
I
go.
mean,
But even
yeah.
Crocodile and Mihawk against Shanks, dude. Come on, I don't know.
I mean, Mihawk fought Shanks plenty of times before. And
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well,
We'll
this
see where
time
it
has
goes.
passed. Time has passed.
yeah, he's down an arm. He won't be able to win.
Yeah, come on, yeah. But that's when Otama's master reveals himself to be Kozuki Sukiyaki
Yes.
and confirms that Pluton is in Wano. Which Big Mom was saying that as she was kind of falling down, that these thoughts in her head were like, Roger, the One Piece is part of it is here. Yeah, mama. But we kind of learn a lot about Pluton. We don't get to see it, obviously.
No, and it's still implied to be a battleship, but we don't know. But we learn about it like, okay, Wano is like actually like in a giant bathtub, basically. Oh, well, that makes sense for the geography. All right.
So, yeah, because they have to break down the walls to be able to access it. And it's like them breaking the act of opening Wano's borders is a double meaning. It's going to unleash Pluton.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, there's still, it's a ship, but Frankie had the blueprints for it. Is it a ship that needs to be piloted by a specific person like Shirahoshi?
Yeah, I'm not. That's the big debate. What is it exactly? It's been slumbering for a long time. So, yeah, it's probably not a living thing, but we don't know.
Because there were plans for it.
There were plans for it, yeah.
And that was,
although some people have been saying, like, maybe the plans were for a battleship to deal with Pluton if it was ever awakened, not plans to actually make one. But I don't know. It said Pluton right on the damn, right on the damn blueprints. I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be kind of odd.
Yeah.
Then we finally meet Navy Admiral Ryokugyu.
I always mess it up, so I just call him Green Bull or Aramaki. There you go.
Aramaki. Let's call him Aramaki then. Aramaki. Yeah, we finally meet this guy. And I like him, dude. He's kind of an asshole. He's an asshole. He's an asshole. But
asshole kind of it's way beyond that. But like
yeah. He's no Fujitora. Okay, he's no Fujitora. He's no Aokiji. He's even no Kizuru, to be honest.
I like the idea, though, that the two new admirals, Fujitora definitely falls more in line with moral justice like Kuzan, like Aokiji did.
Yeah.
And Aramaki definitely falls more in line with absolute justice with Akainu. He literally says, like, he's like an Akainu fanboy. He literally wants to do anything in his power to make him happy. So you have to ask yourselves, who's more dangerous? Akainu with just his ideology or Aramaki wanting to do anything possible to please Akainu? You know what I mean?
Yes.
So,
Yeah, this man is dangerous.
Flower power.
Power.
He has an ability that gives life to things, which I love the juxtaposition that Oda did with that.
Me too. And even getting to see the extent of his abilities and how it seems that his physical form was taken out and then it regrew from the earth.
He could just like regrow, like he plants a seed of himself, which sounds weird, but
Tekken was getting he got a little crazy right now. Talking about planting seeds everywhere.
Planting his seed in the ground.
I didn't read that part of the chapter. Can I get let me read it again. What's going on?
No, but he's super powerful and he is a scary guy. And in terms of his ability, though, and his like design and everything, I mean, I really do enjoy him.
It's strange that it's
antagonist.
a Logia to me, that it's like it's a forest. It's not Parameci, it's just a Logia, so he can literally turn into it himself. So
yeah, it is. And who knows? I mean, maybe we'll learn more about that. I mean, who knows?
I'm sure.
But Shanks, that's when Shanks shows up.
Being sussy.
And he's not there. He's being a little sussy, but he's on the scene near Wano, but near enough. Yasopp talking about not being ready to see Usopp before Mehgan goes on another rant.
Hold me back.
The government didn't know about the fruit. I wrote that down. And I can't remember why I wrote that down.
No, it was Who's Who did not know like the importance of the fruit they were carrying. So Who's Who was weirded out by like, how come the red-haired pirates are attacking us? We don't have any treasure. All we have is this devil fruit that turns you into rubber. Why the hell would they want that?
Because that was CP9 at the time.
Yeah, it was CP9 back in the day. Yeah,
back in the day, and they didn't know.
Yeah.
Because they're just servants, the lap dogs. Shanks. That's where he kind of has that flashback. And Tekken, I mean, he says, everybody else on his ship says, Luffy's a great pirate now.
Oh my gosh.
He's a great pirate.
Literally saying the words verbatim that he said.
Come on, you want to go see him, right?
Yeah. And he's
Shanks is like, nah.
Nah, dude. I'm actually not interested at all in seeing Luffy, but what I am interested in is claiming the One Piece.
Bro, don't steal Luffy's
Well,
livelihood that.
he brings up that like we have a lot of other dealings we have a lot of shit to deal with right now because like Bartolomeo had the cover page where he ripped up the flag, and so we have to go deal with that right now. You know, we can't just let people just do whatever they want in our territory. Right. But I find it funny that they traveled by Wano, like they just swinged by and like, we're not gonna go. And then they just sail away. Yeah,
we're not gonna go, but I'm gonna, make my presence known. I mean, Shanks is like hockey and like so insane. Yeah.
Man, because
I think someone coined it hockey talkie, like a walkie talkie.
I mean, that's basically he's doing his hockey talkie because he's like, stop what you're doing and leave Aramaki.
Yeah.
Hockey talkie Aramaki.
But I was gonna say too, because Shanks has talked about right now it's time to make their move, right, and to claim the One Piece. Luffy obviously wants to be king of the pirates, and to do that has to discover the One Piece or reach the One Piece. But his like true dream. What are your thoughts on that, Techie?
Yeah, the off screen. I want to be ...
Yeah. I think for Luffy, it's like I want to throw the biggest party in the whole world, which is because they said it was childish, and I'm like, that does sound childish, but that also sounds like something that Luffy would say, and Roger said the same thing as well. So I think it's
Odin was shocked by what Whitebeard laughed. And Odin was shocked by what Roger said.
I don't know. I think Phil like Odin, because Odin was probably looking at Rogers like, this is this amazing pirate that let's conquer the Grand Line. Like, what's his words going to be? And it's like, I'm going to throw a party for everyone. Yarg! And then he's like, okay. He's like, not what I was expecting, but okay.
And even Yamato, I mean, when Ace kind of reiterates Luffy's dream, he's like, that's going to be at the end of Luffy's dream. And Yamato's like, huh?
Odin read the Poneglyph, so maybe like what Roger said, it was similar to something he read in a Poneglyph about Joy Boy, or maybe something Sukiyaki passed down to him, like,
Right.
So that's why he was remembering Joy Boy. Yeah.
We already talked about this, but that's when we find out that Sabo has been dubbed the Flame Emperor by the people, framed for Cobra's death. In the land of the gods, the hoof of the celestial dragon was destroyed in a declaration of war. Kuma was freed. Vivi has vanished.
Everybody got out alive except Kuma Vivi vanished, which people have actually said, what if Kuma, like,
that honestly makes so much sense. But they talk about, they're like, yeah, dude, that's a double hit for Alabasta. They're kind of screwed right now because their ship is even still here because there's nobody.
Yeah, there's like who's in charge of Alabasta right now? Like, we don't even know. Yeah.
Well, that's why it's so crazy to think about like just Emu and holding that picture of Vivi and talking.
Maybe Kuma, like he was saying,
maybe
he knew that,
or maybe extent, like we said, Emu's like mine. Vivi, now Alabasta. I mean, who do you want to erase from history? I
don't know. But I do know, and I'm happy to know, that someone tried to murder Charlos.
Attempted murder.
The attempted murder was Charlos. So you could say that was Mulesguard when he hit him with the piece of wood. But I think it's something else beyond that. I think they also tried to straight up kill him. And they mentioned that, okay, the Celestial Dragons, obviously, they are beyond human laws because they're gods. They set themselves up as gods. So they have their own judiciary system, basically, called the Knights of God or whatever. Yep. And so, which makes sense. Like, what happens if a Celestial Dragon does something against another Celestial Dragon? They have to have a law system. So we'll see where that leads to. Yeah.
Yeah, in Viz, they call them the Holy Knights.
The Holy Knights.
Holy Knights.
Maybe from Nanatsu no Taizai, but whatever. I mean, like, 7 deadly sins. Yeah.
So after that's when we learned the king's return, there was an 8-nation revolution. They're worshiping Sabo like a god. I get it. Law and Robin, they get to see old Wano at the bottom of the sea, and they get that third Poneglyph. The Straw Hats, Robin gets the third Poneglyph for them, the road Poneglyph for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We kind of covered this. We talk about Pluton. They talk about it and what opening Wano's borders really means.
Yeah, you got to bring down the walls, and that's a huge,
Yeah. And it's going to cause, it seems like it's going to cause, it doesn't seem like anything will happen to current Wano because it'll all come
who knows? Down. I don't know. Because they're built on the side of a mountain. So it's like that could result in the whole place falling down. We don't know. Yeah.
And there's still the prophecy of Fishman Island being destroyed too.
Yeah,
and
that
Wano
as well.
being destroyed. Wano could potentially being destroyed.
So that might be a theme with all ancient weapons. In order to get the ancient weapons, you have to destroy some kind of island or some structure to get them out, some way.
Yeah, I think there would be some significance to that, because that would mean, I mean, what would that mean to take away someone's entire home just to access these ancient weapons? Why would someone want to do that?
Yeah,
to
and that's
their
why
home?
the Straw Hats, like, Robin doesn't even go, I can't show you where Pluton is. I don't know where it is, and we can't awaken it anyway. And Luffy doesn't care. Luffy doesn't want to
give a shit.
Yeah, Luffy's like, I don't want to have an ancient weapon. Let's just go. Let's leave it there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I love about him, dude. It's when Momonosuke blasts through the Admiral. He finally is starting to learn how to master control or use his dragon form. This is the only Vega Punk devil fruit that we know of, right?
Yeah. Yes, the only one, and he deemed it a failure.
But it seems to be working just fine.
Seems to work pretty damn well, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah.
As far as I'm
it's
concerned,
just a failure in his eyes. Everyone else this is fine.
Right, he's his toughest critic. Dude.
Yeah.
He's like, I didn't get it just right.
Of course.
Yeah.
But that's when Shanks releases his hockey blast, and takes him out too. Kinemon sees Otsuru. That was sweet. They got to meet for a little while.
They got to get reunited. Yeah.
Finally.
Tekking, I can't remember if I heard this somewhere or saw this somewhere, but how do you feel about Carrot? How does Carrot?
I mean, I talked about this a little bit before. It's like Carrot didn't really do much in Wano, so I was expecting her to just stay with the Minks. Now her becoming, I guess, it would be the Duchess of Zo.
Right.
Because the Duke of Zo. But anyway, I'm thinking okay, at first it just doesn't make any sense because she's like 15 years old.
She's
and it's
super
like,
young.
how does this make sense for her to be like the leader of a country? But then I like history, so I'm looking at like Egyptian history, like pharaohs and kings, they would be like 10 years old sometimes, and they wouldn't be ruling because they didn't know how to. They'd have advisors and stuff, and they even mention that right away. Carrot's like, what about Sicilian? What about Wanda? And they're like, yeah, they'll be your advisors, and then when you come of age, you'll be the actual one to rule the nation.
Yeah.
And, she embodies what Pedro meant and everything like that.
I love Pedro too, man.
Yeah, so that logic of it, I'm like okay with. And Orochi and Neko are going to stay in Wano.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of people are saying like, what if Carrot just shirks her duties and just stowaways on the Sunny because she's done that before? And I'm like, if that happens, I'm not going to complain. And then after the Straw Hats find One Piece, then she goes and assumes her duty as the ruler of Zo. I don't know, but hey, if it turns out into some weird twist where Yamato isn't joining, but Carrot ends up anyway, I'd be like, I don't know how we got here, but I'll take that.
Well, yeah, because I mean, to have now a fishman and to have a mink, and
yes,
to have,
that would be cool. Yeah,
it'd be
absolutely
really cool to have like these representatives of all of these people and races on this crew. This is when Sukiyaki reveals himself to Momonosuke and Hiyori.
Yeah.
And everybody knew.
I'm your grandpappy.
Everybody knew except Kinemon, which is classic Kinemon.
Of course. Oh, and I also wanted to talk about that really good moment. I always forget his name with Hiyori.
Denjiro?
And yeah, when she's, they're like, finally, like, you have worked so hard, you have suffered, like, finally, like, that was so impactful too, because she really, really has been putting on this like act and this, and performing almost, and only having one person in her life that is still her family.
I did a whole video about her and that backstory, and she had to suffer through this crap for 13 years or so, 20 years. I mean, it was pretty rough.
That's a Hiyori figure right there.
Yeah,
in the back.
I love that figure too.
Oh, yes, right here. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful figure.
I like it. Yeah, it's cool.
I mean, her line of work too.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. Yeah,
she wasn't just working, like.
But it was
udon.
it was part of Denjiro and their plan of like, we're going to, like, Orochi's infatuated with you. I'm his right-hand man as the head of the Yakuza, and that's like the perfect moment to cut his damn head off. I really honestly wanted Hiyori to get the final kill on Orochi, which she kind of did, but I wanted her to be playing that shamisen, and then Orochi's in her lap like, I love you, Hiyori, and then it's just like, and then she like pulls a dagger out of the shamisen and like stabs him in the throat. Like, that would be perfect.
Even the idea that the reason she's wearing that mask too is
she's crying.
She's crying underneath every time. Like,
insane.
Jesus,
because
that's
her dad's song. Her dad's song that literally got fucking boiled alive.
Dude, that was rough.
Oh my god.
But yeah. Otama, we get to see Otama and Shinobu.
Yeah, Shinobu's back to being her former self.
Yeah, and
that's how that works.
She says
I know,
haggard,
right?
So she might just be looking like this because she's haggard. Because she was like,
because she had all the nutrients like drained out of her because of Aramaki. So
right.
yeah, but,
so she might plump right back.
She
up
might
in no time. This is when Caribou overhears that Pluton is in Wano and he has to tell a certain someone. We already talked about that. The alliance is over. All the pirates pick their own separate ways to go. Buggy's cross guild with Croc Mihawk, and they started putting bounties on the Navy. Law giving Kid the robe Poneglyph. Finding the man with the burn scar we talked about too. Or almost at the end. We covered a lot of the stuff. I mean, it's not a lot of chapters, but I just want to make sure that we're not missing anything.
I think you're pretty good so far. Yeah. Yamato saying that she wants to. She doesn't say. I mean, he doesn't say he wants to leave, but he says, I want to go meet Luffy and the crew.
Yeah.
I think Yamato obviously will at some point inevitably join them. Right.
Yeah, at some point. I think he'll show up during the final battle alongside like the Grand Fleet and everybody, and like that'll be cool.
Yeah, I mean, because Jinbei, as frustrated as I was, dude, that Jinbei was like, I'm gonna join this time for real.
I'll be right there.
But I'll be
I got some stuff to attend. I got some errands to run.
I got some errands to run. It'll take me 10 years, but I'll join you.
But it all was so worth it for that moment when he showed up at the raid, at the beginning of the raid.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So if Yamato comes at a moment like that, it might all be worth it again. Momonosuke says goodbye to. He's mad because he feels like Luffy didn't say goodbye to him.
Yeah.
And
I love Luffy's reaction to that, where he like jumps him and it's just like, you didn't say bye to me. It's like, you're saying bye to me right now. So Luffy doesn't even understand he did anything wrong. It's just like,
he's got the gaslight fruit.
You got the gaslight fruit. But you see, obviously this is a child in a man's body, and he's just crying his eyes out like, I would have been doing you.
Yeah, that was sad, dude.
Oh my God, they've been through so much.
I do love the line where Luffy calls him his little brother, though, considering that Sabo and Ace were always his older brothers. Now Luffy has a younger brother, so that's kind of nice.
I love that. I mean, just thinking about the whole journey.
Emotional too when Otama was calling him big bro too, because of her relation to Ace, or her having met Ace and everything. That felt really important and significant too. And it was nice to hear Luffy be referred to as like a big brother.
Yeah.
Yes.
But he gives them a Jolly Roger, a straw hat Jolly Roger. So, I mean, that Wano territory is straw hat territory, which is pretty crazy. The pirate, they all head down the falls. That was so funny. They're like, we'll take the safe route back down. We don't have to go back down the falls.
Yeah. And then they're like, and then Kid's like, of course you would take the safe route, you bunch of wimps. And then they're like, oh, you didn't just say that. And then they just all jump over the falls.
I like Law because Law acts like he's above it all. Like he acts like they're so dumb and they're so childish. But then as soon as it comes to, he's like, I'm not going to let you outdo me.
He has to.
The whole
he has to step up to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The big mom finishing blow, like he's like, why do you always get to?
Why are you shouting orders at me? I was gonna do it already. Now it makes it look like you were giving me orders. That's not how it works.
I love him, dude. But this has been the saga of the mighty samurai regaining their lost glory to shine as they did before. And that's the end. The curtains close on Act 3
of
Wano in its entirety, Tekking. And I know it's a different experience having to wait week to week. In its What I mean, how does this feel? What was this experience overall?
It's crazy. It's been a 4-year journey. From June of 2018, I think is when it started, and doing the reviews every week, and then like the theories all along the way, and all the discussions with all the great people on YouTube, talking to you guys about it. It's just a very emotional moment where it's like, okay, this saga's concluding, and now we're moving into the next one, and this might be the last one. So, it's just a very humbling kind of experience.
Yeah, I feel like, to me, what I really love about you as a person and your content is you're just, again, so you bring so much energy to One Piece and your discussions.
You are the joy boy of the One Piece
joy boy,
YouTube
literally.
fandom.
You're joy
Thank
boy.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're
Okay,
joy.
so the other night, we went out to like a bar trivia with me and my friends, and we're driving back, and we're talking about, I can't remember the subject, we were talking about something, but I'm getting very impassioned in the subject, and I'm in the car like doing a YouTube video, and my friend's like, you get very shrill when you get excited. I'm like, yeah, that's my job. I'm like, it's just like, so it's like, yeah.
It's so great. It's so amazing.
Contagious.
And
thank you.
and I know you probably, and I love about your content too, is you're a very optimistic person, and it's just you talking about a series that you love, and you're so passionate about it. But how do you feel about like people who have more of a negative?
I mean,
taste?
if people don't like One Piece, like sometimes people will send me messages like, "Hey, Tekking, there's this YouTuber that's talking smack about One Piece. What do you think about that?" And I'll be like, They can have their opinion. I'm not going to I'm going to be the guardian to, it's like, no, it's like, look, and a lot of people have read One Piece, watched One Piece. They don't like it. And it's like, okay, that's fine. I try to be optimistic with Oda. I know he's a good writer. So even if something happens in the story short term, like I remember the first chapter where like Luffy went into Gear 5th, and there was a lot of people that were like, I don't like this. I don't like the way it looks. I don't like his ability. And I'm like, guys, it just got revealed. Can we wait a few chapters to see where Oda's even going with this?
Right.
In the last chapter, 1057, there was even a moment with in the Rakugo play when Hiyori was like,
Rakugo.
you were Kurozumi, and you were Kurozumi means charcoal. You were born to burn.
Yeah.
And a lot of people got upset over that, like, because she's basically like advocating genocide of the Kurozumi.
Yeah, I heard
That's
about
not
that.
what she meant.
I know.
The context is Orochi specifically.
Yes.
She's basically like, and it's in a play format, so it's basically like, your name is Kurozumi, you're charcoal, you're meant to burn. She wasn't saying the whole family was meant to burn.
Right.
She was like, you specifically. So stuff like that. But it's like, yeah, I mean, overall, got to be optimistic. I think the overall message Oda's trying to spin with the story is an optimistic, joyous message,
Joy,
Exactly.
smile, laughter,
Yeah,
all this.
Exactly.
I don't think One Piece is going to end with Luffy dying and it's going to be sad. It's like, there you go.
Even the
Yeah.
Yamato thing. I mean, that's
Yes.
how I feel similarly to you talking about Gear 5th being revealed. And it's like, guys, this just happened. Like,
And how long have we been reading this amazing story where Oda continues to surprise us? He brings things into a story that we wouldn't have even dreamed of, and tying it all together. I mean, we just put faith into the man. He
Dude.
knows what he's doing.
It would be crazy if in 2 chapters, the Straw Hats are traveling somewhere else, Momonosuke and Yamato just show up and be like, yeah, we decided to come with you guys after all.
Yeah.
There it is.
yeah, but that can happen. And
It could.
It could.
Literally.
And
I'm
Oda does things like that.
I'm an extraordinarily indecisive person. So for Yamato to be like, I'm going to do this, but then I'm going to do this, but then I'm going to do this, I'm like, I know, I get him. That makes sense to me. Yeah.
That makes sense. I could see myself doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially because of Yamato's past and how much freedom he has now. It'd be like, oh, what should I do? What should I do first? What should I accomplish first? Because now I don't have these freaking chains on me.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
it
exactly.
only makes sense.
And Wano was such a daunting task. It was such a huge arc, the biggest, longest arc.
Yes, longest arc in all of One Piece, about almost 150, just shy of that. It's 148 something.
And it had been being set up for Oda had been setting it up for a long time. So by the time it
the
finally
first
came
time,
around,
it was mentioned was during Thriller Bark, but the first time the saga began with Kinemon, that was way back in Punk Hazard. That was in 2012. So 10 years of setup. Amazing.
And that's a lot of expectation too, and I think that's just what it ends up coming down to. It's just people's expectations versus what story Oda wants to tell. But I mean, there were so many things to pull off and to do in this arc, and I think that he did them so extremely well. Epic moments after epic moments on top of over 1,000 chapters in changing the story completely, but also, and I think I said this in our last episode too, One Piece will never be the same, but it also is the same. You know what I mean?
You got to keep it fresh, and it's why the reason he's a good writer. It's lasted over 25 years, and it's consistently showing us new stuff like this, and the art, and the not just the art, but the story, the devices he's using are evolving and all that stuff. So yeah, I look forward.
We all love different stories, Bleach. We all love. I mean, all the manga that's in the background.
I haven't read of any of that. That's just all
decoration.
Yeah, it's like My Hero Academia. I haven't read a single chapter. I don't know what happened. Something about superheroes or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, it seemed pretty popular. Dude.
Sky High the manga.
It actually is Sky High the manga. I actually love that movie. Yeah,
me too.
Sky High's actually legitimately a great movie.
It is
a good movie for the time period. It's a Disney movie. Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
But I just feel like, and I am a huge fan. We all, I think, are fans of storytelling in general. We love so many other stories, but there's something so special and so different about One Piece, and I really feel it after, especially this like reveal, this Gear 5, Nika the Sun God, Joy Boy, the silliness, the wackiness, the ridiculousness. Like, there's something so incredibly special and different about this, and I can't really compare it to anything. It's unlike anything.
Well, because
I've ever
it's everything.
It's everything.
I mean, there's every type of story, anything that he wants to put in, he can put in and make it fit and make it work. And that's like the best part about it. It's just like a blank page of just go at it. You can do anything you want, and that's what I love about One Piece so much.
And now I'm going to spend more time, I think, like maybe not going back and rereading every single thing.
No, now you have to reread the whole thing. So now you understand the subtext of every scene.
But honestly, we've kind of had to do that a little bit for a couple arcs. We did it for Little Garden and Drum Island to be able to talk about it. And you do discover every time it's something new. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like even Drum Island, we're like, oh yeah, I guess that was the first time that we found out that Gold D. Roger was his name. Wow.
Yeah, that was when we found that out. Yeah.
The payoff too, then from the Odin flashback, them talking about Blackbeard never sleeping. There was payoff of that from Drum Island when Luffy and Sabo
there's a thing with that.
I even forgot that he was in Drum Island.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he was mentioned there. Yeah.
His silhouette. Like, wow.
So you go back even and you're just like, I mean, that's what I want to spend these next years doing, is going back in between chapters and revisiting everything. And do you have any advice, Teching, as newly week-to-week readers, dude? Like,
spoilers are usually out on Tuesdays or Wednesday nights, so that gives you a little bit of heads up there.
Good to know.
Scan chapters usually out on Friday. I just did my review earlier today. You're gonna love chapter 1058. It's a good one.
Wait.
Yeah. So yeah, just welcome to that. And here we are riding it out till the end. So here we are. We're on the train. We're finally all on the train together.
We freaking did it, dude. Anything else you have to say, Mehgan, about
the
second chapter?
I mean, again, it's just expectations. Just I have no expectations for how much happens in an arc, or what character is going to join, because again and again and again and again, it just completely goes over my head, and it's everything that I and more to me.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
I'm just so excited to see what the Straw Hats get into. I mean, with all these upgrades and all these awakenings, and Zoro being like, I can use freaking Supreme King Haki. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? It just keeps Grim Reaper. I mean, come on! Like, it just keeps leveling up, and I have no words.
Nowhere to go but up.
I'm just ready. There's no ceiling.
There's no ceiling, man. There's no ceiling. Teching, are there any final thoughts or final words about Wano?
I just think that the way Oda finished it, there was some still stuff that needs to be resolved. I think that'll all be taken care of in flashbacks later, like Zoro Ryuma's grave thing.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be resolved. Maybe Oda was just like, okay, I will cover that, but I really got to move on to the next part, so we'll cover that later.
Yeah. Was there any part? Because for me, I think if I had to, I don't even I hesitate to even go here, but if I had my experience reading it all the way through once, if I had any moment of fatigue, it was during sort of everyone's own individual battles, which did
there's a common
it offered a lot, right? Each battle offered its own thing, but I did feel a little bit of that fatigue.
There was Oda had a lot of moving parts here. We had a lot of the supernovas in this arc. We had a lot of the Tobiropo plus the All-Stars plus Kaido plus Big Mom plus Perospero plus the Minx plus I mean there's a lot of moving parts.
You had
here.
a lot to cover.
Yeah.
And one thing I want to know is if we're gonna get finally confirmation of Luffy's mom, dude.
Oh, that's been a long time thing there. I like to think that she was a celestial dragon that Dragon fell in love with, and then she died, and then that's how he started the Revolutionary Army, because in her memory or something. So that's an idea.
Yeah.
That would be very interesting. I mean, the Croc Mom theory has a lot of legs too. People seem to love that.
Oh yeah, that I don't agree with that one, but it would be interesting if Oda went that direction with it. I'd be like, okay, let's see how this makes sense.
Yeah, I like the theory more of just Croc being just like female, and then Ivankov changing it later.
I like to think that that was the secret. I don't know. Would Crocodile, because he seemed like, this is a secret I can't let anybody know. Would Crocodile really deem that as so important? Like, I used to be a woman. Was that something that people would just not be able to understand? But I don't know.
Yeah.
It might be something else altogether. Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, Wano was incredible from start to finish. It was insane. It was epic. It was awesome. It was, dare I say, perfect. Dare I say. We interrupt this episode with the one and only Teching 101 because we just gotta shout out. We just gotta thank our wonderful, beautiful, amazing Patreon and YouTube members, especially here in the final episode of Wano. The final Done Piece episode arc discussion episode for a while. We just want to take the time and make sure that we take the time to shout out and thank everybody who supported us along the way. Our Patreon members, our YouTube members have been such a huge help and have done more than I think any of you will ever know for both of us. You have blown us away, touched our hearts, and allowed us to do everything that we've been able to do over the course of this entire year. For all of these episodes. So many of these cosplays wouldn't have been possible without you. So many of everything in terms of the amount of episodes we were able to do, the people even that we've been able to reach out to, the equipment and everything, and the time that it takes to read things, the time that it takes to record and edit things. We wouldn't have all that time. We like our show, our growth, the quality of this show, our show, all of our shows, it's because of our Patreon and YouTube members and their support that has allowed us to really elevate it and to be able to deliver these episodes at the quality that we've been able to deliver them. We just want to thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts.
Thank you so much.
Going forward, there's going to be so much more One Piece content. Anime reactions, chapter discussions, more collabs, more conversations now that we're caught up. So thank you for being here and being a part of this crazy, awesome journey. We appreciate it so much. So we just wanted to, again, shout out our Patreon and YouTube members and say thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And we also want to say thank you, Nakama, to our Nakama.
Yes.
We also want to say thank you, even if you're not a Patreon or YouTube member. Your support, any and all support, means and matters just as much to us.
All of the comments you guys leave about, just your thoughts, theories you might have, just going along the ride with us. You guys have no idea how much you have made this experience even better than even just reading One Piece, because you guys really made it just feel so welcome, and everyone's love for the series is so contagious, and it definitely just elevated this experience so much for us. And I am blown away by everyone's positivity and everyone's just overall, just love for the series and sharing your love. And, we love you guys and, sharing your love for us. I mean, you guys are just amazing. And all of those comments, all of those, thumbs up, every YouTuber says it, but they definitely help us out so much. And it wouldn't have been possible without all of your guys' support throughout the way.
Sharing the videos, people who have on Twitter, who have just shared our podcast and shared these episodes
on Twitter, just people who are have thousands, crazy amounts of subscribers, just shouting us out and saying like, oh, you should collaborate with these people. I mean, we have a collaboration with Parvision because of you guys.
Yeah,
I mean, you guys are so.
I mean, the Manga Bros podcast reached out to us because of you guys.
Yeah.
Anything and everything. Always that everyone has shown their support, even truly. I mean, every YouTuber always says like, comment, subscribe, which is true because it's a real thing that is appreciated because it's true that it helps in the algorithm. But literally, even watching all the way to the very end, literally watching if you're still watching right now, like that view duration helps too. So even if you show your support just by playing the episodes all the way through, that helps. And we appreciate that so much. Literally any and all kinds of support. Our Patreon and YouTube members, of course, but also we understand that not everybody is in a situation where they can support financially. And some people just don't want to. And that's fine too. It's totally fine. It's a free world. It's a free world, baby. And we appreciate just any and all support from the bottom of our hearts.
Yeah.
So we just wanted to say thank you again, and we appreciate you and we love you all so much. But before we go, if you do want to become a Patreon member, or if you do want to become a YouTube member, all you got to do to become a Patreon member is go to patreon.com/volume1pod. All you got to do to become a YouTube member is click join somewhere next to the subscribe button. What that gives you is early access to all of our episodes, all of our videos, and access to our exclusive bonus Patreon podcast, Volume 1 Extra, where we talk about everything behind the scenes, everything outside of anime and manga included, anything and everything we talk about on Volume 1 Extra. And that's included at our lowest tier on both places. So again, if it's something that sounds interesting or appealing to you, you can become a Patreon member by going to patreon.com/volume1pod, or become a YouTube member by clicking join somewhere near the subscribe button on this video. But I think that's it. Let's get back to the episode with the one, the only, Tekking 101.
Let's go!
But thank you, Tekking, for being here. Thank you for talking about these chapters with us, man. We really appreciate you coming back.
Yep.
And now that we're caught up, like I said, we're going to be reading the chapters as they come out, talking about the chapters. We'd love to. We're doing a celebration, celebrating like catching up, and so many other things that we'd love to bring you back and talk to you more
Absolutely.
about. Because you're genuinely one of our favorite people in the One Piece community to talk to. Yeah,
it's so nice to talk to you guys too. Yeah.
Thank you.
The only thing left to do now, I guess, Mehgan, is to get out of here on our outro. That's always the same and never changes. Of course, everybody, you know Tekking already, but if for some crazy reason you don't know him, what are you doing, dude? You're not even a One Piece fan. Subscribe to his channel.
That's okay. That's brutal. It's just like
subscribe.
Name 4 videos. Okay.
I'm Tekking. I talk about you know what? I mostly make videos about animal facts now, so just go and check that out. Yeah,
Love that. I saw your stream where you were building the Mary or the Sunny.
Oh yeah, I built the Mary. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, I like doing that. I want to do another one of those kind of streams. Yeah, those are always great.
I was invested.
Yeah, I have it back.
Where is it?
It's behind me. It's like
I see it. I see it. It looks awesome, dude.
It's great. Yeah, awesome.
Too. But our outro, that's always the same and never changes.
Shooty.
Tekking, you can chime in and help us out with an outro.
Let's see.
It usually just is,
something pertaining to the chapters that we just went over. Something to do with
Exactly.
Wano ending. We said Joy Boy returns last time.
On to the final saga. We can say
On to the final saga.
Unless Tech, I don't know if Tekking has
On to
any.
just like the name you were given, you were won over.
You know what? You didn't have a lot of confidence in it, but I liked it.
I liked it.
I liked it.
If you say something with confidence, then it doesn't matter if it doesn't make sense or rhyme.
Exactly.
You Wano me over.
Oh!
Yeah. There you go. I knew there was
Wano me
something.
over.
There were
Okay.
bits and pieces of it, but I didn't connect the dots.
Let's do it.
Okay,
Let's do it.
you
All right,
Wano
so
me
we're gonna
over.
say it at the same time.
Okay.
I'll lead us in. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And until next time,
You Wano
me over.
Wano.
We did it. Thank you, Tekking. Round of applause for Tekking.